Yeah, because you can just buy it anywhere. Yeah. I saw it in some smoke shop the other day. I was like, I kind of want to give it a whirl.
Yeah, man. I was like, kind of getting a little painkiller addiction for a while, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I started taking this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
That's better.
What does it feel like?
It's like a kind of like if Vicodin was like organic and it's just sort of a natural feel. You want some?
Okay. Probably not now, but
yeah.
take
like a
look
teaspoon.
At it,
yeah.
It's
like earthy. Yeah, it's just like a ground
like
up leaves.
Matcha kind of or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. All right.
But it's definitely helped a lot of people, especially after that fucking Sackett family bullshit. Everybody.
Yeah,
dude. Fuck, dude.
Did you watch any of the stuff?
I did.
That? Yeah.
I watched the show, and I knew about all that stuff because I was like an advocate, like speaking about Kratom and all this stuff, like back in the day. But yeah, that show was pretty harrowing.
Did you watch the Hulu one with Michael Keaton, or did you watch the Painkiller Netflix one? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was one with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, it was, what the hell was it? Dope Sick, it was called.
Oh.
But it had Keaton and a bunch of other people on Hulu. It was really, really good. I heard the Painkiller one's sweet too. Rogan just had that Peter Berg dude who directed it on his podcast, so I've been meaning to catch it. But
yeah, I don't know how accurate it is, but, obviously that family sucks.
Yeah,
and they portrayed them that way.
I'm sure
10
it's
probably.
dramatized a bit, but I think for the most part it sounded like they were trying to keep it like pretty true to form, like obviously a little bit more for entertainment value.
Yeah, otherwise
they
get sued.
Yeah, they were talking about that big time. They had to do all kinds of sign-offs and waivers and shit and like disclaimers at the beginning of the show. And
so did you watch it? Sorry, I missed that. Did you watch that show?
I didn't catch the Painkiller one. I watched the Dope Sick one with Keaton on Hulu from a few years back when they did it.
Yeah, I got that shit in my queue, and I'm like,
ditto. Yeah,
it seems. No, it looks amazing, but like, it looks like a lot.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to get super, super depressed.
It's really there's a lot of comedic value to it too.
Yeah, but who's it? It's fucking. Who's this? Broderick or something?
Yeah, Matthew Broderick.
Oh, I forgot.
Inspector Gadget,
actually.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Matthew Broderick, Inspector Gadget fame. Broderick's the man.
So what do you got there? Kratom?
Yeah, it's Mitragina speciosa. It's from Southeast Asia, Indonesia area. It's like these huge, like tropical trees.
It's a root or something?
It's a leaf. Oh. So you can't really grow it in the United States. It all comes from over there because it's tropical. And it takes like years and years and years to actually grow one. So they harvest, like the locals harvest the leaves off. That's how they, survive basically, and sell it.
To you?
To me, just me.
And it does what? You're saying people are.
Well, okay. So there's 3 different strains basically. I mean, there's more, but the 3 main ones is red, green, and white. So red's for bed. And it kind of
all right, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. Otherwise, I can't remember the shit. But red's for bed, and it helps with pain too. And then green or white's for flight, so it makes you kind of like gives you some energy.
Okay.
And then green's in between. So
gotcha.
It's pretty interesting.
It's a fun way to remember.
Mm-hmm. There's also like gold and some other ones. Just how they make it. I don't know the science behind it, but I don't really like those ones.
And you're gonna mix it in your?
No, I'm just gonna
take a fucking
toss and wash.
For real? Yeah. Oh shit!
That's a big ass scooper too, dude. Woo.
This guy just took a giant teaspoon of this shit and fucking.
That's an imposing looking little spatula. That thing's a monster.
And slugged it down with a Bud Light.
That looks unpleasant on any number of levels.
Well, I was mixing it with orange juice for a long time. And then I noticed, like, I'm getting sores in my mouth from all the fucking citrus acid.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
So I just started tossing, washing it, and I'm used to it now. But if you try that without knowing how to do that, it's like the cinnamon challenge, bro.
Oh yeah. That looks like disaster waiting to happen.
Yep.
Dude, I got caught one time on a fucking dessert that had cinnamon on top, and I was like raising it to my mouth to eat it, and inhaled, and it fucking caught me. I like breathed in the cinnamon, and I was like for like 5 minutes, and then everybody was fucking breaking my balls, as they should, because it was hilarious, and then everybody else at the table did the same thing.
Really? Jesus.
Pull that mic up a little bit too.
Oh, yep.
How was ArtPrize? You were there all day?
A couple hours. Went with my kid and his mom, and it's good to get just like out.
Yeah, it's fun walking around down there.
Yeah. That park down there. What's that park? It's just filled with homeless people. Like people had beds and
Onondawabi Park, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't know the actual name, but it's a Native American name. But yes, I know it's like anywhere. It's getting
bad out there.
And then, you said he didn't go into the Bob. That's where usually most of the art is.
No, it went into the museum, into some other just random places, and we have a friend, Heidi, she owns a cherry farm up north, and she had an exhibit there.
Nice.
She had all these like barn doors, and for years and years and years, she's been painting like just like scenes. So it was like all these paintings, and it's just like I didn't realize how long she had been doing it. It's pretty impressive. I don't know if she'll win, just because there was an sort of a, what do you call it, a Valkyrie, like an archangel sort of sculpture, and it was awesome, dude. Yeah. It had like stained glass wings, like spanning
to
out.
win ArtPrize, it has to be huge and it has to be super conservative.
Right.
So if it's religious and huge or whatever, that's what's going to win.
Well, I remember a few years ago, the Jesus thing.
Yeah, there's been several, and I think one of them was some sort of, I don't know, or whatever, veterans-esque stuff and whatever.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, it's Grand Rapids, so it's got to be huge and conservative if you want to try to win ArtPrize.
That's kind of a little bit lame. Like, I get it, regionally and everything, but also if it's this big ass art event, like,
it seems like there's some politics,
be like a little bit avant-garde,
some shenanigans involved.
It's 100% politics and shit. Yeah, I mean, it was run by the DeVosses.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, it's not anymore though. They like sold it 2 years ago or something.
And it's like every other year now.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not even sure anymore. It's really like, I'm sure it's still cool and you can still go down there, but I'm not trying to talk shit, but it's going way downhill. It's gone downhill for a long time. I mean, the first couple of years were crazy, like where it's actually where 20 Monroe is now was the parking lot for the Bob, and that's where the craziest shit was. That's where all those like huge like steampunk blimps and like, I mean, just enormous crazy fire breathing dragons and shit used to be and everything, and there's just nothing like that anymore.
How many different artists usually enter that?
I don't really know.
I don't know either. I mean, that year it was like, I mean, there was thousands, because it was all over town too. Like there was ArtPrize stuff like up here and like just venues, but it's so much smaller.
People
now.
Come in from out of town for that.
Oh
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah, especially big deal, back in the day, like. The dude who won it was the dude who won the first one. We met at some random event. It was like at Steelcase. It's pretty random, but he was from like Brooklyn or something. So a lot of the time, like the winners are not usually from here. I don't know.
Because nothing says art like a big ass, very mainstream corporate furniture manufacturer.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Indeed, it was some event. Couple years later, it might have been the year that Susan was in it. Actually, that might have had something to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Remember that the cube in the middle of the room when it like cast like the geometric shit on the wall?
Yep.
That's like a traveling exhibit, right?
Yeah. I think that's some sort of actual exhibit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it won, didn't it? Like
I don't
one
know.
year?
Maybe, very possibly. I hope so. I mean, that was
sweet.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
What was that weird ass movie? Did you ever see? It had Jake Gyllenhaal. And he was like
Johnny
an
Darko.
art guy. And they had that big ass spear thing that was all reflective, and like you put your arm in there and it was eating people's arms and shit. You know what I'm talking about? It was a Netflix flick.
I don't know the name of that movie, but that was a great movie.
So, yeah, super wild. Gyllenhaal's the man. That dude fucking rules and everything.
Damn, you should try to look that up real quick.
We talked about him last time.
It is. It's all Jake Gyllenhaal here, baby. That's like probably his favorite actor. You know what I did catch, dude? I wanted to tell you was and this kind of lead us into some UFO talk. I finally caught that Arrival movie.
That's a good movie.
That movie's bad.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that's your, I know that's your boy. Yeah, I didn't know that was him. It was okay.
Really? I fucking loved it. I thought it was badass.
I thought it was really good. It was a little like, all right, what's happening here at the end? Like toward the end, it's kind of like, let's get to the aliens here. And I was also fucking ripping on it hard. Like, how are you not gonna play the fucking boo 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 boo? Yeah. I'm like, really, guys? You're not gonna break out the synthesizers here and try this out? You're trying to communicate with these things you never saw. The fucking Close Encounters of a Third Kind. That's the first thing you do.
Yeah, I
break
mean,
out the synths.
a good
buzzsaw.
Good alien movie.
Buzzsaw.
You really gotta put some thought into it, man. You can't be releasing shitty low budget sci-fi alien. It's not low budget, but
I thought that movie was I'm disappointed to hear this.
No, it was good. It was fun. I'm not saying it wasn't good.
I'm also a real fanboy for that director, but
that's the one with Amy Adams in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and no synthesizers. That's the big takeaway here. 'Cause the lack of synthesizers was very fucking apparent. And I also watched for some reason, I threw on the 2013-ish Judge Dredd.
Nice.
I inappropriate. You liked it?
Yeah, and I like the redo of RoboCop.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and Total Recall was good too.
Shit, I haven't seen that either. Well, that's got Colin Farrell in it, that one. Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, that Judge Dredd was super fucking inappropriate, man. It's got the chick who plays Cersei in Game of Thrones as like the villain.
I don't really remember that well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it's this dude, you know who the actor Carl Urban is? The guy that plays Judge Dredd? He's a lot of things, but amongst other things, he plays McCoy Bones in the new Star Trek reboot stuff.
No, I don't know.
This guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in The Boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's he got started. He's in Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah. Fucking, I was super phased by that movie.
I've heard very good things about that Boys show. I've never seen it, but everybody that's watched it said
it's pretty
huge.
It's pretty. What's the word?
It's violence, right?
It's violent. Yeah. It's gritty.
Yeah.
Sardonic.
Nice.
It's good. It's just I watched one season and I'm just like, that's all I need, really.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah,
indeed.
But I should probably watch the rest. But.
It's kind of like what's that other fucking dark ass superhero shit that they were making the show of as well? Boy, my fucking memory is just gone.
The Watchmen.
Yes, thank you. It's sort of like that, right? It's like pretty similar. Pretty terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
That was a wild. I didn't know what the fuck to make of that. The first handful of episodes, I'm just like, what am I watching?
I watched that movie, but I didn't catch the show.
The movie is really, really epic, and the show is pretty sweet too. It's just like it's wildly confusing for the first handful of episodes. It's definitely worth a watch, but you got to kind of grind through it first because it's pretty nonsensical to start with.
The Umbrella Academy is a good show. You ever see that show?
No, I heard good things
somebody
about
else
that
here
as well.
was talking about it. I don't remember who was on that was talking about it.
Elliot Page in it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Is one of the Jakes talking about that, maybe, I feel like?
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, boy, there's a lot to talk about. But before we get into fucking aliens and shit, we should talk about last night. We went down and saw the Mars Volta.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw pictures. I got jealous.
Yeah. Are you a Mars Volta fan?
I used to be. I haven't listened to him in a long time. But,
I mean, that's kind of how it went. They kind of broke up there 10 years ago or whatever. And yeah, then they put out that new record that I like. He's not a fan of.
Couldn't get down with it. Thankfully, it was pretty minimal selections from the new album.
Yeah, last night was fucking pure fucking... the first record, the loud
nostalgia.
Stuff. Yeah, it was epic. It was awesome. Yeah, it was a wild night.
Almost died.
You almost died?
I almost suffered the worst fate of them all and died during the opening act.
Before Volta.
And I'm just like, this would be an inauspicious way to go, man. I have no idea. I fainted or something. I don't know, some combo of the fucking smoke going on, and I was just lightheaded and started to wobble and then went down. I was just like, whoa. Might have been something the drugs I was doing. I was kidding. But it was fucked up. Well, I was like, this is going to be the worst possible way to go. I'm just like, I got to Gotta hang out. I gotta persevere. Must see Omar down.
Would it be though? This is I mean, at a Mars Volta concert.
No, that's the point. Is after you don't even get to see the Voltos and the shitty opening.
Right.
Like, no. Yeah, he was all of a sudden like we're just standing there. We had like we were up pretty close, and like he like falls like kind of like into us, and I thought that like somebody started moshing or you got hit in the back and it pushes you up, and like what the fuck, beer spilling and shit, and then he's like kind of all right, and then all of a sudden he kind of like stumbles in. He's like stumbles forward, like and then kind of like falls over, and like I'm grabbing him. Another rando dude's like grabbing him. Like we're like falling to the floor. I'm also hilariously trying not to spill my beer, which is hilarious to think about. But that's how goddamn expensive. In fairness,
it's an extremely pricey beer.
They're trying to give you mouth to mouth.
So we fucking like. Dude runs over like and alerts security guy. The security guy comes over. Me and the security guy hoist him up, and like I'm like, we got to get him out of here. I'm like running the thing. Like the security people are idiots, honestly. But I'm like, we got to get him out of here. Let's go. And, like the security guy didn't know what to do. So anyway, I start blasting. I'm yelling at the security guys. Fucking haul him out of here.
In this van, like this can't be. We can't skip past this. So we're going down, and like as I'm going black, like on the ground, not knowing what's going on. This fucking band is called was it Gender Bender?
The Gender
Is that what they're called?
Yep.
And they were wearing like these unicorn onesies and playing synths. I'm just like, I cannot go out this way. Like, I gotta survive the Volta.
Right.
The good Lord's got to take me at that point. Like. That's a pretty huge way to go with the grand scheme of things. Yeah, you kick the bucket at a Volta show.
Were you thinking about your life and stuff? Like, was it getting bad there? Like,
not. I mean, I don't think it was anything like that, but it was just fucking weird. Like, I've never had some shit like that happen before.
That's weird. Are you getting checked out? Or?
Well, so we get him back there.
Rolling the dice. I assume it's on.
I'm like, fucking Shave's having a stroke. Like, god damn it, like, fuck. I'm also going, man, this motherfucker's gonna die and make me miss the Volta as well.
That was literally my primary concern. Like, I'm on my deathbed. I'm like, something's clearly not right, but I was like, hey, I'm fine. I got crucial Volta to catch here. Just let me go. And I'm worried that they're like assuming, which I was like not on crazy drugs or anything to be clear, but I'm worried that they're thinking like I'm all fucked up out of my mind and like they're gonna boot me the hell out of there for liability shit. I'm just like, god damn it. It's like, nope, I'll be just fine.
They're gonna shoot the shit up your nose.
I don't know,
salt.
Yeah, that's what pretty good. We gotta get some smelling salts for the pod. That's top priority.
So we're back there. They got the fucking, the on-call paramedic dudes kind of fucking doing the flashlight in the eye things, and then the manager of the venue's there too, like, and he is like trying to like making sure for their own liability, like, oh, we gotta fill out this form, man, and doing that whole thing, and then I'm like, kind of like shooting the shit with the guy. But here's my theory. So. This happened to Susan at the ISD show in Detroit, which we've told that story on here, so you got to go back to the Tony Piccoli episode, where she passed out at a show because basically there's just no fucking air in there. So this is my theory, is they're pumping those goddamn fog machines, and it was fucking foggy in there. Like they had been pumping that shit like all day to get the fog looking right for the lights, and that shit's fucking terrible for you. And so there's that. Then there's a little vape action going on, which is kind of like the same
Lots
thing.
of vegetable glycol in there.
That's what I'm saying. They're like the same goddamn thing. And then, you have a few beers at dinner, you're doing a little of that, then there's just no goddamn air in there. And then and fucking like you just fucking like kind of pass out. And like that's basically what happened. And like the dude was saying like, yeah, it's almost like it's like an anxiety attack. It's not actually like anxiety, but it's like a panic attack or whatever, and it kind of just shuts you down and you kind of just fall over.
The specter of that Cedric was just too much in the moment. I was just ramping up for it. It's like, it's too much to handle. Can't deal it.
I used to have panic attacks and just black out. Just
there you go. Yeah, that's what he was saying. It's kind of like the same thing.
Yep.
So anyway, we fucking get his ass back out there, get some water and some fresh air, and go back in when the Volta's going on, and he just chilling at the bar, and we get up there a little bit. We also fucking crucially lost our huge goddamn spot.
Yeah, I know.
We were like right up to the stage, and we got there early. couldn't get back up.
So I was telling you guys, stay up there. I'll fucking go off here and die casually in the corner.
Yeah.
I was happy we got pretty good back. Like, we didn't really lose a ton. But it's like,
there's not a bad place
there.
on that fucking place, but
I'm just picturing you texting people. It's like, hey, guys, got to let you know Shave died tonight. Like, oh, my God. What happened? Was it a car accident? Was it a robbery gone wrong? It's just like, no, tetragrammaton, bro. You never stood a chance. The groove's too crunchy. Right. Omar's guitar styling's too free for me. It's going to handle it.
But you pulled it back together for a little bit there.
Singing in there.
Couple tunes in. Got back up there.
It was touch and go there. I saw for a minute. I saw the Great Beyond. I saw the old keyboard played Volta trying to call me into the light.
Yep. Nice.
And Cedric's face appeared and said, "No, my child, it's not your time. It's not your time." It's brought back to the row and watch a dominant Volta show.
They did fucking own, man. They killed. I'm happy to see. I don't know who it is, but I've been bitching about that their new drummers have been terrible. Like, Volta's always had the best drummers, and like that, I don't know. And it's just kind of been bad. I've not been a fan of some of these people he's had, but they got somebody now, and I don't know. I think it's a woman. And I hate,
I think
apologies,
so.
I'm pretty sure that it is. But it was far away. It was hard to tell. It's behind a drum set, But whoever it is, fucking fantastic drummer, like killer. I was like, yes, they finally got somebody like on the drum throne that can fucking do this justice. And they got this fucking dude has been playing with them that plays keyboards and he plays saxophone and shit, and that motherfucker is a goddamn wizard, dude. They let him go off on some like Rhodes piano solos and shit, and holy shit, that dude can play.
Is there a good light show? Or
yeah, the light show is cool. It's they had all these like mirrors hanging, like that's kind of like their stage setup. It was like 5 mirrors on top and then like 5 below, and then they had like lights on the sides of the mirrors. So it was pretty sweet.
There was a lot going on to start. In the lights, they were intense, man. That very first song kicked in, and it is just like strobes on top of strobes,
seizures
on top of
right.
mirrors. Yep. And I'm just going, oh God! I turned away. I put my head down. I closed my eyes. So like, this shit's gonna put me over the edge for sure. But
if you have undiagnosed epilepsy,
I know.
It could be anything.
It could be anything. But it was a wild night. And then like just on the way there, we were like almost got in a couple of car accidents, and like on the way back, we almost hit somebody, and like it was just a fucking weird night, man. The vibe was just crazy.
Something out to get you.
It really was. Yeah. We met up with my homie Jovan, and he apparently he was fucking hammered, but he woke up this morning and he's like, I got cuts all over my leg. I don't know what happened. And shit. And I was just like, dude, there was something in the air last night, man. It was fucking wild.
And you were just drinking.
Just drinking a little bit of vape pen.
Not even that much to drink. Like I had 2 Guinnesses,
couple beers,
like light beer, basically. Yeah. And
then we grabbed a beer and we got there.
Alcoholic, so 2 beers ain't shit. But.
Yeah. No, I think it's a combination of that fucking vape pen, but that fucking those fog machines, and there's like literally just not good ventilation in those venues, and like I don't know. That's my theory.
And we're getting old.
Yeah, well, my homie Mike Nolan, I told him because he was at the thing with us in Detroit. I was like, dude, that same shit kind of happened to Shave Man, and he goes, yeah, we're getting too old for poor air quality. I was like, yeah, that about sums it up.
It's going full old man. I'm like, when was the last time you guys had the ventilation system checked?
Seriously, though,
we're not gonna fare well in the climate wars.
Yeah,
that's for damn sure.
The only other thing that pissed me off is like there was some dudes at the end who like started moshing, and I'm like, all right, guys, like Jesus Christ. I'm like, everybody at this Mars Volta show is 40 with a bad back. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like,
yeah, no more moshing for me.
I'm like, I'm good, dude. I don't need to be, fucking plowed into by some dude.
Right. That to me has always been the most ridiculous thing. Like, even at a metal show, which in theory I get, but it's like, really? Do I got to catch a fucking forearm to the back of the head here? I'm trying to sit down and watch some.
I mean, it depends. You go to those like certain types of metal.
Yeah,
it's like people just drop kicking people in the face and shit.
We saw.
Fuck that.
I think it was Devil Driver because they were opening for Megadeth, I want to say.
Could have been.
I feel like
might have been
Devil Driver show got pretty rowdy, as I recall.
Oh, yeah. I've been in
which
some pits,
one would suspect, yeah.
I'm way over that shit. I don't care if people want to do it. The problem is I always seem to be on the edge of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always like right in front of it, and you're trying to watch the show, and then you're worried about some fucking asshole gonna, like you're saying, catch a fucking elbow.
I thought I was gonna have to start throwing bones, fucking John Bones Jones style elbows in there to defend myself. Lay the law down, baby.
Yeah, I got a concussion at the intersection when Sparky joined Static Sun, and they played at the intersection.
Nice.
I was like in the front row, and he's like, they started playing Destination Destiny or whatever, and he's like, start a mosh pit. And I just like jumped backwards, and I mean, it didn't like part like the Red Sea or anything, but I smashed into a bunch of people, and then the mosh pit started like crazy, and next thing you know, I'm waking up, my shoe is gone. I stumbled to the bathroom, my eyes are like saucers.
Right, yeah.
And I had to, I was fucked, man.
Damn. Well, that was my fear. The real fear with him fucking passing out is that concrete floor. You fucking fall down and hit your head, man.
No joke.
Yeah, that's no joke.
I can be killed by neither a Volta show nor conventional weapons. I'm all good and indestructible.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty hungover today too. I was like, I don't know, and I didn't drink a ton or anything, but like, I think a lot of stuff's just been catching up with me.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, oh boy, I need to slow it down a little bit here.
You've been partying a lot, or?
It just seems like, I mean, not really. I don't know. We had some family here on Thursday, so I was drinking at dinner then, and Friday at work was crazy, and just like, I don't know, just a lot. It's just a lot.
Mm-hmm. Got anything planned for like getting away from all of this?
No, unfortunately, no. I used all my vacation time earlier in the year for the move, and so I'm kind of like, I'm kind of fucked for the rest of the year.
It out, yeah.
Yep. But it's all good. It's all good. All right, you want to move on to UFOs?
We can, yeah. Fuck NASA. That's all I got to say about it. Did you watch that?
No, so that's the thing. I need you to fill me in a little bit. You were giving me a little bit of play-by-play when it was happening, but I couldn't watch it.
It's basically just, I don't know how big their team is, but they had they had the director of NASA up there, and which like this old, well-spoken guy, kind of reminds me of like the Unsolved Mysteries guy from like the 90s.
Robert Stack.
Yeah, a little bit like that. And 3 researchers, and the guy starts off like saying, we didn't find any evidence that it's extraterrestrial, but we don't know what it is, and we're here to work for you, and we're going to assign a director of UAP.
Yeah.
So
that seemed to be the big takeaway.
Well, everybody thought they were going to like report their findings.
Yeah.
But they're like, we just got it today, so we'll let you know. And then the first person, they had an open question panel. Like, first person was Jamie, not Jamie Foxx, but the guy who's the guy who did the
documentary. The Brazilian documentary.
He was the first one.
Oh shit,
and
that guy.
I think he kind of snuck in there, dude, because
that guy's intense.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
He's like, how do we know that you are going to be, telling us the truth when you can't even tell us the name of the director at this time? And they're just like, we're NASA, we're going to be open and honest with you and all this stuff. And the rest of the thing was just like, there's a few more people coming up asking about transparency, and the pressure was on, and you could tell, and they were starting to get a little like,
defensive.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then they're like, we were bullied on social media and all this stuff. And it's like, well, are you going to be honest?
Yeah. I mean, they are the government. It is
exactly.
The government. NASA is the government.
And are they just using this as just, I mean, when you research something for that long and you have people dedicated to it and you don't create a department out of it, it seems like they're just doing it to create another department within NASA.
So they didn't announce who the director is. I thought that's what they were doing. I thought they were like, this is the new director.
They said, we can't tell you yet.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right after they said that we're going to be transparent. It was just so weird. And
do they have like can you apply?
For the director position?
Yeah, can I get on Indeed?
No, it's somebody that works with them already.
Yeah. So they have it. There is a person. They're just not saying who.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, That's pretty weak. It's like if it's like, yeah, we're working on filling it or something.
It's not a great sign of good faith if,
right,
while talking about transparency, they're also being convoluted about the person they've apparently dated.
And they didn't even really give a good reason. Like, I would assume that maybe for, so people don't get weird right away and like start sending them weird hate mail and like saying you're lying to the American people, and maybe so he's not targeted by the media or something.
Okay.
But they never really, it was just a decision they made.
Indeed. It's Rudy Giuliani.
I hope so.
What's your take on this stuff personally? Like, do you think it's something from out there? Do you think it's an extra dimensional thing? Do you think it's some kind of military technology and this whole thing's like a ruse? Or what's your stance on it?
Well, I used to think that these orbs, because I'm interested in the orbs like big time.
Yeah.
So
I got the one thing pulled up, but I couldn't find that one video you were showing me where they go through where he's doing the thing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see the guy. But I got the, let me see if I can just fucking pull it.
So as far as like the orbs are concerned, I used to think that they were like conscious, like entities, like they were some kind of creature.
Right.
But now I think that I honestly think that our government, the physicists on some timeline or the future, invented some sort of time travel, and they're bouncing around between timelines or something like that.
Wild.
Yeah. So because we're on the cusp of like figuring this stuff, and we've been studying this stuff since the 50s.
Yeah.
And
to me, that might almost be the more odd of the two scenarios, right? Like, okay, it's a big ass universe. If there's other stuff out there mathematically, that seems likely, right? But like, man, if we figured out a way to do some time travel, interdimensional shit, like on a lot of levels, you could probably make an argument that's the crazier of the two scenarios, I feel like.
Yeah, probably.
All right, this is that video that you sent me, but I couldn't find the part where they like he's got that still frame, but
it's all black. Oh, that's the one wait, what's that?
This was in the link that you sent me, but
oh, this is the FedEx thing. So this is the video that he took so this guy studies the orbs. So there's a still frame.
Yeah, and it's like not there anymore. I like can't find it. But this dude takes like a still frame like this and zooms way in, and he starts fucking with the I don't know what the contrast and like
fucks with everything.
Yeah, the color filters and all that stuff. And there's like they're kind of saying, I don't know if they're saying it or whatever, but it kind of looks like there's like a little dude in there.
Yeah, and that's not the only one. Like there's other ones where all of a sudden you start seeing an image of like a profile, and it gets a little clearer and clearer, and you can tell that there's shoulders, you can tell, and they're sitting in like a vat of something.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks like like a little.
It's weird.
Do they have an idea, like frame of reference wise, how far away this thing is in this video for them to be able to see whatever's inside of it? Like, is it?
Oh no! Well, he takes an image of the orb.
Yeah, he takes like that still frame right there or something, and zooms it way in. But for some reason, sorry, it's not there anymore. I couldn't find it, but it's pretty wild. I don't know what to think. I was saying to you, it also could just be that like people see people and everything.
To me, it's more than that. To me, I'm not just hallucinating. I know that people see faces and stuff like that, but when you start seeing like the whole body structure, staring out, and
it is weird looking for sure, and it is weird that it's kind of like consistent in several of these things, because it's like, well, there's also like there's a lot of like pixelization and like noise and shit in there, and when you start fucking with the color, you're gonna see like shadows and stuff that aren't actually in there. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I obviously don't full-heartedly believe that, but it's pretty compelling. I don't think he's like enhancing it on purpose like that. I don't think he's like trying to fool anybody.
No, it does look like like somebody like sitting there. It does. Mm-hmm. It's fucking weird. So I don't know what to think.
That's wild. Did you catch any of the shit about you were talking about the Mexican version of the things that we did, kind of, where they brought in those two little alien coffins?
So I don't understand what was going on there. Like the Mexican government should obviously have been informed that guy is like a fraud.
Yeah.
He's like a well-known.
So what were they doing hosting this guy? It doesn't make any sense. Why were they hosting this guy? Why did they let him bring these coffins in with fucking biological entities? They
look pretty bad.
Paper mache.
Yeah, it does not look that great.
Yeah, I mean, there's a video. There's a YouTube science channel. They like debunk a bunch of stuff. I can't remember the name of them, but they basically, he had one of these before, like a few years ago, and they looked at the image and they could tell which bones, were what and everything. So, but the femur bone, there were human femur bones connected to the arms, and the arm bones were connected to the legs.
Okay.
It's like, so even if this thing was alive, it wouldn't be able to walk.
Right.
And it was fucked up. In the excuse me, the skull, they're saying, is the skull of a llama, but backwards. So it's a backwards llama skull.
Kind of props to this guy. This guy's kind of a boss. Kind of a boss move, dude.
And there was 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 of them in these boxes.
But he's saying he's inviting scientists to study it. So it's like, does he think he's going to fool them? Or what if that shit is real?
What if it's real then, Like, hey, man,
this guy's pulling a massive troll job for sure. He's like, check it out. He's just all in on it. Check the shit out. You can do biology tests on it.
Or it's a disinformation campaign to like kind of take away the attention from the real shit that's going on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, those crazy people, aliens aren't real. Look.
Doesn't it seem questionable? Like, wouldn't they pre-vet this a little bit?
That's what I'm saying. It's weird.
Exactly. We're going to see how this goes.
It's almost like
a good feeling
the
about
U.S.
this one.
Mexico. Hey.
Right. It's almost like the U.S. almost sanctioned it. Like, just to take the attention off of.
Well, this happened the day before, right?
The
day
NASA
before the
stuff.
NASA stuff.
Fucking
So it's kind of like,
dude.
Isn't that weird? Like, I don't know. And not too long after the, the big fucking congressional shit that we did, what was that, last month or something, or 2 months ago or something. But
I know David Grush or whatever I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's been on. He's like doing the podcast circuit now.
Yeah,
I've seen a few, and I think that he's truthful about some things and obviously not about others, and he stops at a certain point because of whatever. But
it's a real good excuse to be like, sorry, I can't say that.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's like when he was talking to Congress, they're like, "We're going to get you a skiff. We're going to get you a skiff." Like immediately,
and then they don't.
And then I was listening to this podcast, and they're like, "So why? What was the reason? They gave you that they couldn't give you a skiff?" And he's like, "Well, I think it was like security or something, just some nonchalant shit like that." It's like, what do you mean you don't know?
Yeah.
Like, it was just, what do you mean? You think they said security reasons?
What, isn't that the point of those things?
Yeah.
The security reasons?
So that was just like, sent my spidey senses off. Like, this guy's something going on there.
I don't know. Yeah. I know they were talking about like Corbell and Knapp were talking about how they're trying to like, what do you call it when you like debunk a guy, but like, or not like debunk him, but like ruin his reputation or something.
Aren't they like together? Like, aren't they all friends or something?
Well, yeah, those guys were talking about how other people are trying to like,
like they brought up his PTSD,
and all that kind of shit. They're like trying to throw him under the bus on all that and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's so hard to tell with that shit, and it's like, why now is the time where they're like, okay, we're gonna be totally transparent and just talk about this stuff in full candor and be out in the open. Like, this has been some bullshit for years that they've just straight up ignored or otherwise.
The why now is because
aside.
Tom DeLonge is now involved. That's the truth. I feel like the why now sort of is part of it, that there is all that shit with the fucking Tic Tac and David Fravor and all these dudes and everything that like can't be ignored. That they're like, we literally have to do something finally, because everybody's like, what the fuck? And also like, our generation is like getting older and into positions of power and stuff, and like, so it's like when more people are, I don't know, younger people are going to be more apt to like, the people in Congress are going to be like, we want to talk about this.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that's part of the why now.
And fans of the X-Files generation finally come of age.
We want to know before, our time is done.
Yeah.
I don't want to die not knowing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the whole thing. So, but you also can't be woo-woo about it and just like believe every single fucking thing that you hear. And I don't know. There's people that talk to fucking alien gods through Chat GPT.
yeah.
You know, like they're channeling. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Seems like a little much, you know?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah,
but
that's
even if they came out and said, like, hey, here's all, like, what's the burden of proof at this point? Maybe burden of proof isn't the right term, but you can make a counter argument to anything they tell you, right? Even if they come on and say, like, here's the fucking body and here's this and here's that. Well, okay, great. Are they doing this because it really is some kind of military technology
really
they
it
want to
has
keep
to be
under
first
wraps and this is
contact.
misdirection? Like,
it has to be you. I think we need to see the fucking aliens.
Show me them aliens.
Because we live in a world now where it's just like anything can be faked. You know,
that's the other thing too. It's like as this stuff gets better and better and better, and you know knuckleheads are going to be doing that shit with AI and everything else and just trolling the whole world.
It's Project Bluebeam.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's the problem. I remember back in the day when I was super into it, it was like when fucking cell phones are coming out and everything, people were like really hopeful. They were like, well, now everybody's going to have a camera in their pocket. People will be able to catch this stuff on the fly. Like, we're going to have so much better evidence. But what happened is that now anything could be fake. So now, no matter how good it is, you can't prove it. It's real. And so like the opposite happened of what we thought was going to happen.
And that's the same with not just UFOs, but everything. Every piece of information we hear, everything that we see now. Like I can't, especially with the images and the voices, AI voices replication, I can't tell a difference.
Really? Like what do you listen to check that shit?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, what are you referencing? Like songs and shit, or like
the AI songs,
Rogan
like the Drake thing.
And shit? Okay.
Yeah, and there's they put people's voices. Like my son watches like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments on YouTube, and there's Trump versus Biden, and it's just silly,
Yeah.
But it uses their voices,
right?
And it's like it sounds exactly like it, dude.
Did they actually take like syllables from a real audio and kind of splice that up?
I think that's part of the
reassemble it.
No,
or something.
No, they just it's a synthesized voice. But I think somebody might be speaking like, and it takes that voice and puts those parameters on it.
Okay. So somebody has to like say it first, and then it like.
I mean, you could maybe like
probably
text a voice or whatever.
Right.
I mean, realistically, this shit is going to get problematic in a handful of years because it's going to be literally indiscernible at some point very quickly here. And it can just be, hey, we've got the president saying, whatever fucked up thing. Like, this could be some, like, shit that starts wars and stuff, depending on
that's why they're like, wait a second, like, there needs to be some kind of fail-safe. And they're talking about, like, embedding some kind of, code of authenticity within all videos released, all photos released, all audio bytes released on the internet, so you can tell there's a signature that it's true. That it's real.
Theory, but how hard is it to hack something like that for somebody?
And even implementing something like that is so, astronomically.
That's what
complex.
I was thinking too. Is that seems like a lot of like work? Like like how would that?
We're in a pickle.
Got to get some of our finest nerds on top of this post.
Well, the fucking nerds that have created the problem.
They're the transhumanists.
Yeah, but fuck. I don't know. I've really been keeping my head in the sand about the whole thing. I kind of feel like that's the move. Just going to Volta shows. Not worrying about it.
Yeah, I think a lot about it. I don't like to dive into all the politics of it, but I don't know. I just think about the grandma that's sitting at home, and all of a sudden she gets a call, and it's her grandson, and he's like, "Grandma, I need some help. I'm in trouble. I need some money."
Yeah,
and it's not Billy.
Yeah, Well, so this just happened to my boss. He got a call from his niece, I think. She's like crying. Her car's broke down. She's got traffic tickets. They're gonna tow her car. She needs to borrow a few $100 from Uncle Moneybags, And no problem about what's your Venmo, whatever, Venmo. And then right afterward, he's smart enough to think it, and I didn't even think about it. They're like, oh, those are actually exactly those scams you hear about.
Yep.
And he started like looking them up and everything. Luckily it wasn't. This one was real, but it was like dead on exactly that. Like, yeah, they call grandma or they call your uncle or whatever. Can you just Venmo me, a few $100 or a few $1,000 or something? And you couldn't tell the difference. And I don't know. That shit's crazy to even think about that exists.
You got to be a special breed of piece of shit to do that to somebody, like to tap into those kind of emotions from grandma, you know, like your fucking son's dying or whatever. Like, you got to be.
Well, I mean, your son might be dying. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just some guy.
You don't know their story.
You know?
How are you judging? No. But that shit's wild. I hope that never happens to me. Luckily, I don't have friends or relatives of any variety, so I'm sure I'm not at risk. Also, I'd just be like, no.
Have you? I watched that movie Her the other day with Joaquin Phoenix.
That's about fucking great, dude.
I was so
that
uncomfortable,
flick.
but it was in a good way.
It's really good.
Cool soundtrack too. Arcade Fire.
Oh, for real? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. I'm way behind. If it's not Judge Dredd from 2013, I'm not interested.
The movie's from 2013. It's an older movie.
Yeah, indeed.
Spike Jonze, I want to say.
Oh, that sounds right.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Gotta catch it,
right.
dude. Joaquin Phoenix is a fucking monster of an actor.
Yeah,
apparently, that
really
dude
good.
is a wild psycho to work with because he's, you know, all method and all in and just a fucking nutcase.
He grew up in that Children of God cult. It's
Really?
like this cult, like him and his brother and his.
He's River Phoenix's brother, right?
Yeah.
And he has a sister. She's a famous actress too, but she has a different last name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking really good. They got that new fucking Napoleon movie coming out with him in it. You guys seen the trailers for that?
That
Joaquin Phoenix is Napoleon.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Ridley Scott. Like it's
Okay.
it's gonna be a big movie. Yeah, it looks pretty fucking amazing. He said they got a 4-hour director's cut ready to go.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot of Napoleon.
I'm so thrilled that there is some semblance of like actual movies being made again for a quick second here, like the Oppenheimer movie,
It's
which I
bouncing
haven't
back.
seen, and
Yeah, but
fucking Napoleon. So
Isn't there a
this is
strike
about-
still? Like,
Yeah, that's still happening.
Yeah.
so there's going to be like a dead zone kind of like
Yeah.
for a minute.
Yeah.
So they're going to like bring back old movies to the theaters, like, or like
Ooh,
what?
that would actually be kind of fun.
Probably a lot of reality TV and that kind of bullshit in all
Right.
seriousness.
Or
Like when
just
they did
real
strike back in the day. that
real
was a big
shitty
thing.
Yeah.
movies. Or it'll like open up a space for AI to jump in the thing that they don't want
Yeah.
and start pumping out
And just do
movies.
Yeah, we'll see. God, I hope not. I mean, that's pretty much what seems like what a lot of those Marvel movies are.
I
anyway.
know, it's
kinda
horrible.
Yeah, I think it definitely they got so oversaturated with that shit, and we've been bitching about it forever.
God.
But it's finally like swung back the other way. People are like, okay, enough
Thank
with the
God,
fucking.
yeah, I know. There's finally
Ant-Man
this
14
uprising of
and
people
shit.
being pissed off about it, which God bless them because this is too much.
I
I
want
want to bite
some
my tongue
real-
and not going back into it.
Some real superhero, like some anti-hero, like a Spawn. I need a Spawn movie now.
I think they're redoing it.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. Well, probably not now anymore, or not right this minute.
Right.
but,
I heard it
yeah,
was
it's
supposed to
been
have
in the
Jamie
books.
Foxx in
That's
it.
what I heard too, which would be choice.
Right.
Yeah.
But he got real sick for a minute there.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's not a young man, you know?
Yeah,
he's
like
got to be
on his deathbed for a minute.
shit. Holy shit.
He looked like shit.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's too bad. He is fucking a talented son of a bitch.
Hell yeah, he is.
Big fan of fucking Jamie Foxx, honestly. It's fucking sweet. Oh fuck. Man, I've been doing that thing again where I fucking like have a thought and then I lose the thought. You know? I really got to cut back on drinking.
While you are thinking about that, did either of you guys see this shit about this mysterious golden orb that they found in the sea?
Isn't it a
That's
natural they find these like spheres and it's like some kind of geological thing, right? Where
They
it's
don't know
natural-
exactly what it is. So
The
it was
big
like
thing?
It's the sphere? That's
It's
that movie?
Basically, yeah. Like my contention is they got to get L. Jackson down there to
Yeah.
check the shit out immediately. But it's only like 4 inches across.
Oh yeah,
Holy
Which
shit.
doesn't
the
sound
Avi Loeb
that
shit.
impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like 2 miles below the surface. I think it's off the coast of Alaska somewhere.
What's it called?
Avi Loeb's the one promoting it as alien technology, right? Is that what you're talking about? These little balls in the
So
ocean.
I've heard of that dude. I didn't know that he was tied to this. Like I just happened upon
like an
this in like an
astrophysicist.
actual. This wasn't like an actual science.org or some short. If you just that looks right. If you just Google golden orb, mysterious golden orb, I'm sure all
this
the
might be
stories will pull
something
up.
different.
But basically, yeah, like it's affixed to this rock thing 2 miles below the ocean. There's a hole on one side, so they think that something either was going in. Yeah, it's that thing
the
right there.
fuck is that?
Was going into it or coming out of it.
What do you mean?
Like, that it was either something was trying to get in there, or that's some sort of egg that some kind of mysterious creature hatched like out of type deal.
It's an egg.
Huh. Or like a cocoon of some kind.
But for like fish and stuff, alien. They lay those things in big clutches. You know, it's like tons of spawn sacs together or whatever. This thing was just chilling all by itself. So it's pretty unusual. Like, I guess the only thing they know about it is it's biological in nature, but they don't know what the fuck
They just found one of them?
As far as I know, yeah, this is the one the story is about. I don't know if there have been multiples or not, but
that's interesting.
I don't know what the fuck.
They don't have any theories.
It does look pretty weird, but it's hard to tell what that is.
They think it's like an egg of some sort, which if that's the case, what kind of fucked up things coming out of that? Because fish eggs are obviously super, super tiny, right? Like 4 inches doesn't sound that big.
There's some shit down there, bro.
What the fuck is coming out of that?
There's some wild shit down there.
Soak it in a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks like the alien head, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It just kind of looks alien. So it looks like fucking literally the alien. Yeah. Like, looks like some Contra shit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So look up the thing that I thought you were talking about. There's these balls, these balls, but Avi Loeb is the scientist that's.
Yeah.
So, remember that object that came by Earth, Oumuamua?
Yeah. Yep.
So he's a proponent of the idea that was some kind of craft,
right?
And he observed like a meteor coming down to Earth or whatever, and everybody observed it, but he believes that he found ancient or alien technology within the ocean. They're like these little spheroids.
Yeah, okay, I've seen this. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. There's one.
Yep.
That's them. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what I saw that on, but some documentary or something. That is fucking crazy.
And it's like, I don't know why he comes to that conclusion exactly, other than the chemical structure of it is not something that we would normally see, and the way that it's shaped so spherically.
He's
like
calling
that.
it an alien technological gadget. Fragments of interstellar meteor.
This is mainstream physics.
Alien gadget.
You know what I mean?
It's wild, man. I mean, it kind of looks like a stelia that somebody might have chucked in the ocean back in the old marble playing days, but
that thing came from
tiny
space.
sphericals or of molten droplets, believed to be made of steel titanium alloy that is stronger than the iron found in regular meteors. Along with the meteor's speed, has Loeb and other researchers sure of one thing: it's not from this solar system.
How is it as a gadget though? Like,
yeah, it's like I don't know. He's saying it's from a gadget or like
a bearing or
ball
something.
Bearings. Yeah.
With that stuff, like, who knows though? Because I feel like we still know relatively little about the real depths of the ocean, right? Like, we've explored it to a certain extent, but it's so expansive, it's so huge. Like, the pressure down there, I don't know. There's just a lot of crazy shit. Like, even those little things in volcanoes that they discovered like 10 years back that live on arsenic or whatever, and they, those little bacteria guys, things that live in like 1,000-degree heat and breathe arsenic or whatever the fuck. So who knows?
These things are magnetic, and they drug them up off the coast of Papua New Guinea with magnets.
Whoa.
And that was from like a meteor they observed or something like that?
Yeah, or I don't know, I guess.
Otherwise, it wouldn't. Avi Loeb wouldn't have nothing to do with it.
They determined it from a meteor that crashed in 2014. So they must have known this meteor hit there and started going out there and dragging the ocean for it or something. It's fucking wild.
Well, they're saying, like, he keeps talking about Oumuamua and how it was a spacecraft, and now he's going to this stuff. And, I think he has good intentions, but he could get the funding now at this point, because he has some couple billionaire backers, to something on the number. I heard somebody was talking about it on Rogan.
Yeah, I listened to that. Yeah, one. They said it'd be like 100 million. You could catch up to Oumuamua. Yeah, it's like, it's right there. We can go look at it right now. He's like, no, let's not be hasty about this whole situation.
Exactly.
Here.
Oh shit, you could catch up to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
for a lot of money.
Like you go ahead and milk my 15 minutes for a little bit longer.
Right. Okay.
Get Bruce Willis.
That's what I was thinking.
The finest oil drillers we've got here.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that thing.
I'm not smart enough to understand some of these people's language and the methods they use to,
That's part of it too. Like
a
the
lot of
people
it's
you've
just
got to
guessing.
rely on. Like you got to have so much knowledge. They could be feeding you complete bull. It's like when you go to the car mechanics. Like, hey, you got a broken Johnson rod here. I'm like, oh shit, I better fix that Johnson rod, man. I don't want to be driving out here with a busted Johnson rod like an asshole.
Right. I gotta tell people I got a busted Johnson. It's not good.
Do you see the James Webb Telescope found this planet that's covered in like a big ass ocean?
Damn, no, not following that either. That's
some
crazy.
Exoplanet like 120 light years away. It's covered in this massive ocean. I guess the telescope they had a way to detect. They found this molecule called dimethyl sulfide, which I guess is only produced by like living creatures. Yeah, it sounds badass. Ooh, they found a bunch of like methane and carbon dioxide and shit.
Yeah, James Webb Telescope's
gotta
badass.
have it, dude. Yeah.
There's some new documentary about it coming out there too.
Yeah, it's gonna be red.
Yeah, that shit's wild.
So, is it in the Goldilocks zone from a sun? Is it
120
frozen?
light years away. I don't. They didn't get too much into that, but it's got.
They don't know if it's frozen or not.
Doesn't seem to be frozen. It seems like it's covered in a massive ocean from what they think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pandora.
Pretty wild, dude. Hydrogen-rich atmosphere.
There you go.
Pretty strong contender.
Yeah, our science and our mathematics and our physics is so beyond our capabilities. It's pathetic. Like India just landed on the south side of the moon, which is like a huge deal, and we're talking about planets that are hundreds of light years away.
Well, to the earlier stuff earlier, think about when they get when the AI stuff really gets amped up, and we've got technology that we can't even
discover
fathom
life
in terms of intelligence. Hey, plug in these parameters, and then hopefully we're kind of narrowing down this huge, vast expanse of God knows what to like. Okay, we want to look here, and here based on whatever fucking algorithms fed into this master brain,
Dude, it's gonna be AI is gonna discover life. I think
it's gonna be a wild 20 to 30 years here without question.
Yeah. Well, who's the Kurzweil? I think the singularity is 2030.
Yeah, he's pushed that date back a few times. So yeah, I like Kurzweil. I got the one book's right up here, Spiritual Machines book.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff, but he's also a bit of a dreamer, you might say, or something. He's basically like, it's kind of like all about like him wanting to speak to his dead father. Yeah. It's like what a lot of it comes down to.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, he's a genius, and like I mean, he like basically invented the synthesizer and shit too. I mean, like, so it's crazy.
I think he seems like one of those guys like in the transhumanist sort of movement where he, if given the option between dying and living forever, he'd obviously choose living forever.
Yeah.
And there's some people like that guy that's injecting his son's own blood.
Yeah, I heard about that a little bit.
He's doing what?
Yeah.
He's like on a dose, like just like he takes his son's blood, and it's like this experiment that he's been doing and eating certain foods, and he's saying that he took 20 years off his life, or put 20 years on his life basically, and he doesn't really look that much younger. I mean, he doesn't look old or anything, but it's just kind of wild that. And if you listen to him talk, and it's just so narcissistic, dude.
Well, you got to be pretty fucking narcissistic to be doing that shit.
It also sounds wildly illegal.
I mean, if he's just letting him,
I don't think he's like stealing
like
his son's blood.
like, when he's asleep.
How old?
No,
is
I think
his
they're
son,
both
I guess,
on
is
like
the
this
question.
weird.
He's in his like 20s or something. Like, he's like part, he's like part of
okay,
they're doing it or whatever.
Okay,
that's what fucking that like Elizabeth Bathory shit. You know that story? She's like the fucking old. It's like Dracula shit where she was bathing in virgin blood or whatever in Romania back in the day or whatever. Yeah.
They said, I was just listening to that too. They said she documented like 650 murders or something like that. She did, dude. She's like apparently the most pervasive killer in Western civilization.
And then there's more history to that people are like, well, it's like a lot of it was kind of like made up like propaganda from her enemies essentially. But yeah, that's a wild fucking story. There's a couple of great movies about that fucking shit. But
what was her name?
It's Elizabeth Bathory, but it's it's like I'm pretty sure it's Romania, I think.
Is that where the word bath comes from?
No, but Bathory is still like a very popular name from that region.
Yeah,
and I forget how you actually say it. That's like the English version of it or whatever. Yeah.
So she was just fucking, well, allegedly,
and then and the whole rest of the story is then they fucking like she's one of the fucking. They bricked her up in the tower.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
like
how
an Iron
down.
Maiden kind of.
Yeah, well, they like locked her in the fucking room. They brick up the doorway, and she was just like in her whatever for a few years or whatever. And then I think she jumped out the window and killed herself.
She's like Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Killing crucial brain cells off. I always wonder how bad that really is. It's probably not great. Probably not great. Yeah.
All the fucking time and stuff. Like I wasn't drinking for a long
I've literally felt myself get progressively dumber and dumber over the years, and maybe it's just an age thing, but it's like, oh, I am not at all quick-witted anymore. And back in the day, it was I had a smart-ass fucking line for everything, and now I'm just like,
I feel much more clear-headed since I don't drink. But the problem is I don't have any fun either.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and it takes like 6 months for your brain just to get those waves right again, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah, man.
I've been thinking about doing a Sober October.
Yeah.
But the problem with Sober October is I got to call it by Halloween because it's Halloween.
Well,
so it's like...
but then, there's going to be something else. Thanksgiving.
I know. Exactly.
So,
yeah.
What you got to do is do like I did and just get pancreatitis.
I'm good. Yeah, that'll do it. Well, our homie fucking Jay Ingersoll, he's gone sober and kind of experimenting with it. And we talked about it on here last time he was on, and he's still fucking maintaining. And he's kind of it's the same thing, but he's like, yeah, I feel like a lot more clear-headed and stuff. And so, and he's been able to like get back on a like stronger workout routine and shit because he's not getting fucked up all the time and stuff or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, clear-headed is good, but it's not necessarily as fun as drinking and hanging out with friends.
Yeah,
because now I don't do anything because everybody drinks and it's just sort of, I don't know.
I get it. Yeah, definitely doing this. We started partying. I started partying a lot more, and it is incredibly fun.
I like drugs.
Indeed. Yeah.
Really, it's not so much the substance; it's the sobriety thing is an overarching problem.
Yes, that's a little too much.
Yeah, sobriety sucks. Yeah. No, I was trying to get him to do Sober October. He's like, yeah, no.
Not a second thought given to that, unfortunately, my friend.
You got
maybe. You never know.
You can't just like run 10K without any training.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I'm saying, like 3 nights in a row and stuff, drinking now, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like I'm getting too old for this.
Beer, generally beer, or are you mixing it up?
No, like well, I'll drink some beers. But like at the concert last night was all beer, but most of the time I'm drinking cocktails. So I've never been a big beer guy. I like whiskey, but sometimes when it's going to a concert, I know that it's going to be basically beer at the concert is the option, So like I'll kind of stick to beer for the night.
Yeah, or like well vodka or something.
Yeah.
That gets to be a long night in a hurry, though. At least for me, like I'm not thinking about it that much when I'm in a concert. So if I'm doing like cocktails, that's a fucking
dude.
That's
like I was saying at Finger 11 at the Pyramid Scheme last week or whatever, I got lit up. They make strong drinks at that place, and I didn't know. I should have known because I've been hammered there before, but I was it's to the fucking moon.
Yeah, it can sneak up on you. I think, and in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get canceled for this, but what are they going to cancel? But just like women, like they say, I got roofied, but maybe, I think sometimes they do. They literally, because I know this guy, he does that shit.
But maybe they just get too fucked up sometimes. Yeah,
like,
sure.
And especially if they switch it up, like mead, like if, let's say they have mead at the bar all of a sudden, and they're just, that shit'll fuck you up.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, I definitely get way more fucked up just like if I try to stick to one thing. Like this is what I'm drinking tonight. It's going to be beer it's going to be whiskey. You know, like if I switch up, especially if you throw like wine in the mix or something, like you have a
dude, that
glass
throws
of
it
wine,
way
so
off.
Like, yeah, well,
It's the pacing of it too. There's really something to be said for the liquor before beer. You're in the clear thing, but if you're like having a couple beers and all of a sudden you do a shot or have a mixed drink or whatever, because that stuff hits, and then it's just like, whoa.
Do you find that like food helps with, or maybe not helps, but you know what I mean?
1,000%. But I think once you're past that line of demarcation, less so, right? Like if you got a full belly going in, cool. But if you like it hits you and then you're trying to eat food and bounce back from that, like you're a goner, brother.
well,
It's
he
too
didn't
late
eat
at that
dinner
point.
last night. Well, he had like some dip and shit.
And like
I think that was maybe part of it too, dude.
Maybe, and I didn't have a ton of water.
A fucking burger or something before a show.
Sleeping for roughly an hour a night's probably problematic.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was bad with me because I'd wake up in the morning and I'd dry heave for about 10, 15 minutes.
Damn.
Just like something in my stomach was like just making me want to dry, no puke or anything.
Wow.
And then I'd just start drinking.
Ugh. Yeah.
So did I tell you about this story? I got my gun, my registered, I can carry it.
Yeah. You got your CPL? Or
Yeah, but it was on a day so you can't drink that day. Right.
Well.
And I didn't realize how much of an alcoholic I really was until that day. Like we were like 3 or 4 hours in, it was just fine. It's morning.
Yeah.
But then it kept going. And all of a sudden, like I'm like shaking.
Damn.
Right. So, and we're getting up to the portion where we're going to fucking shoot the guns.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like, fuck, dude. And
Out there looking like Michael J. Fox. Trying to take this test.
And it was cold too. So I'm like shaking, and this guy, you know, he's like the guy walking up and down, making sure everything's good. He's like, "You're shaking." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm nervous." And then he was like super nice to me because he thought I was like really,
Oh,
yeah.
Should have just told him the truth. Like, nah, I'm an alcoholic.
No.
He'd been like, yep, probably everybody in here is.
Yeah. Because if I told him that, he'd be, because with the nervousness, I can sort of control and he can sort of help with the withdrawal from alcohol.
Yeah.
That's like a total liability, but.
Yeah.
Do you carry around now that you have it? Like, are you packing heat right now?
Oh, no. I carried it for about a year and a half, and then I'm just like, I don't want to fucking carry this.
What kind of gun do you have?
It's a Springfield 9mm.
Okay.
I got a shotgun too, but.
Dude, when I did it, there was for sure people there in that class that had no business holding a gun.
Right.
I was like, people were like, I'm like, I would never give you a fucking deadly weapon in a million years. I was like, I was shocked at some of the people. And I'm talking like, some were like, you know, older, I don't know. It was all over it was hilarious because it was in Muskegon. And so it was very much like, the class was like super rednecks or super urban. You know what I mean? Like it was definitely a Venn diagram there of people who have guns.
Some of those old people with an itchy trigger finger seems problematic. One of our boys, I know you know this story, but back in the day, like he was behind some old ass lady at an ATM, right? And I think she dropped her card or dropped something out of her purse or whatever. So in the first kind act this person ever tried to do in his life, which is like pick up what fell out of her purse and give it back to her. He's like, "Oh, excuse me, man." She turns out and fucking hits him with a pepper spray immediately, just like instinctively.
Good Lord.
Thinking he's gonna get robbed or whatever.
Fucked up by that shit too. What it was he was going in, she's coming out, she dropped her purse. And he just kind of like, as he was going in, just kind of like bent down and was going to pick it up and hand it to her. And when he bent down and he kind of looked up like this with her purse to like hand it to her. And when he like looked up, it was like dead shot in the face.
What the
fucking pepper
man?
spray. He had to like crawl to fucking, it was at the bank in Cloverville. And he had to like basically like almost crawl to the fucking Wesco to like have somebody call like his mom or something, literally, you know, like
Mom, I got bear maced by a 90-year-old woman.
It's like the culture of fear, or I mean,
she just thought he was trying to rob her or whatever. I don't know, but
yeah, I didn't like carrying my gun because I just don't like being on edge all the time.
Yeah, I don't like carrying it around.
It's a huge responsibility.
Plus, I have an enormous handgun.
That's another thing. The little old ladies, dude, they pull out fucking revolvers. Because I don't know what it is. They like revolvers. But they're huge.
Don't jam.
Big old dirty hairy fucking hand cannon, dude. That's the way to go.
More reliable. I was on it. I would actually like to get a revolver. I was almost gonna get one.
They're nice. Yeah. I want one too.
My a little one.
Instructor he totally had PTSD and from the military, as they all do.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah. So if you're like, yeah, I'm an alcoholic, be like, we all are, brother.
Right.
We all, that's what I'm saying. I've been drinking Bloody Mary since,
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Do you have your CPL? Did you go get it?
No, I just, like guns and license and everything, but I don't have any kind of like carry permit. I haven't even shot in a lot of years, but it's a fucking blast, man.
Yeah.
I think the last time I busted out was when we were up at your property, kind of firing off a few rounds. I'm really terrible. I'm a terrible, terrible shot.
I'm pretty damn good shot, but I haven't. At that time, what the fucking ammo price got so out of control that I'm like, well, the hobby aspect of this isn't happening anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going target shooting for fun.
These are my shit hit the fan bullets.
Yeah.
The other thing, do you guys have this at all? I don't know what the condition is, but like some people, if they keep both eyes open, they just see one thing normally and they can shoot or focus with. When I have like one thing out in front of me with both eyes open, like right now, I'm seeing a duplicate set of my hand.
Right.
So I've got to close down and do just the right
so
eye.
Your right eye
blind out of my right
most people
eye.
Are like
thing, though.
Yeah. Dominant in
like
one
I can't
eye.
see shit out of my right eye. So I'm just like, right about there sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how I was doing it. It's been a minute.
I'm not a bad shot, but I'm not a good shot either.
Shotgun, like a long rifle, that type of stuff. I'm really good shot with, but handgun, that's a little different ball.
It's a little tiny fucking bullet, man.
I'm talking shit, but I was a little bit of a natural. I'm not gonna lie. Seriously, I was like pretty fucking good shot right off the bat. Probably not. So I'm saying if we were like, let's go shoot, it'd probably be awful right now.
Well, you're holding it sideways too, which I feel like you really get that extra stability.
Oh, you're doing a gangster side?
Yeah, dude.
Without question.
Is there any other way to do it? I put on my Grand Rapids hat.
All iced out, dude, rocking that bling.
Wolfpack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, shooting is fun though. I just inherited like 4 more guns from my dad too. So.
So it's in your blood, yeah. Like,
no, he's not like he wasn't some big time hunter or shooter or anything. He just, he used to hunt when he was younger and stuff, but yeah, he didn't go for many years.
We gotta go bust some caps on this top priority.
Yeah, we should
go get after it.
Yeah, we definitely.
Do you guys have a place to go? Or?
I had a spot, a piece of property actually up north that was just nothing on it, so that's where I was shooting. I didn't start until it was COVID or whatever, kind of like a lot of people, but so that would be the only spot that I know of. But I'm sure we could get into a range or something. Or...
Yeah, my mom's house. We got 11 acres out there. Like a big...
Is it that big out there?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Had like a big ass dirt mound thing that we used to set targets up in front of.
Doesn't your brother? Isn't he kind of into like the skeet shooting and all that?
He's
Doesn't
a dominant shooter. Yeah, he's really good. That shit's fun.
That's what I'd like to do, dude. I have never shot
clay pigeons.
Shotgun.
Yeah. With a trap house where they throw them out and it's like within a that's a blast, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've never tried that. Never fired a shotgun.
Speaking of people being absolutely shit-faced with firearms, that was my first job that I ever had was at the Fruitport Conservation Club, and I was the trap boy down in the house throwing the pigeons out. These dudes are just liquored up, just putting back 15 bush lights.
Yeah.
Pull.
Has times changed, or like is
no,
that
it's
just
still like that. I know all these guys too,
Gotcha.
man. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like some of these guys, dudes I work with and whatnot. They like to they're blowing up tannerite and doing all that shit all the time.
The fuck is tannerite?
Tannerite's some crazy ass explosive that it actually was used for in target, like small, like really small amounts, like in targets, so like you'd see a little explosion when you hit it. And it was just kind of some new technology, and I don't know, but you can like buy it in bulk. People, you can just like Amazon it and shit.
Nice.
I think like literally.
Oh shit!
And it's like 2 components, and you have to they're inert until you put them together, and even when you put them together, they're inert until they get hit with like a lot of force. So when a fucking bullet hits,
they're inert until you shoot them with an enormous.
When you buy it in bulk, are you put on a list?
Probably,
without question.
Certainly.
Yeah.
I can't be put on another list, man.
But motherfuckers are blowing up like, I mean, like it's YouTube everywhere. People blowing up
refrigerators.
Refrigerators is big.
I've seen that. I didn't know that. That's what they had, some kind of like component like that.
Yeah,
Which that's just dangerous as hell, man. When it's enclosed like that, like the amount of force that's, you know, there are videos of people blowing refrigerators off and having shit, you know, get lodged in a tree trunk 5 feet away from, you know, 100 fucking feet away or whatever.
Dude was telling me there's
it's like
one
legal dynamite, essentially. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. There's one where dude's blowing up his old lawnmower, and the fucking motherfucker didn't take the blade off the lawnmower.
Oh, it's a bad move.
Before he's gonna blow it up.
Somebody's head get chopped off?
No, his leg got chopped off.
Fuck,
He's
dude.
like, because usually they're kind of like behind a tree, you know, or something.
Yeah.
And like the blade being like low or whatever, it's fucking like spun out and like took him
Now
off.
he's got to get a riding lawnmower.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was this fucking old rider.
That's a sheepish trip to the hospital at that point. So what happened? You know, it's the damnedest thing, Doc. It was a 1 in a million chance.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little indifferent. Part of me is like, that sounds super fun. And another part of me is like, no.
I know.
I don't Lenz and his boys fucking go out blowing up.
Yeah, their match checks out.
It sounds therapeutic, to just blow shit up. If you don't have the big guns, you know, you got the littler guns.
Yeah.
Minus the impending doom and loss of limbs, it'd probably be amazing. Like, up until the point where it goes wrong, everything else would be.
Yeah, well, they have those rage rooms too now. Like, if that's a thing. Like,
that's crazy.
You going to break shit?
Yeah, they give you a room. People donate shit, or you can bring your own shit, or whatever. And
like this
they give
idea.
you have a weapon of choice, you know.
Nice.
You go in there and just fucking purge, man.
Gotta hit up a rager.
Yeah,
That's
we need to
top
find that
priority. That's gotta be
immediately.
done.
Is there one here, I wonder?
I don't know.
They had a couple, but times have changed, you know, post COVID. So
we should start one. That's
right. Get the paperwork in order and get a good lawyer.
I'm not exactly certain that I want to be real involved with the type of people that would be in a region. Like,
from what I understand, it's just like families.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Probably a bunch of carers out there just going, God damn it.
Yeah, because the real rage heads, they're like actually...
They're doing it anyway, yeah. This is people just going, oh, this will be hilarious. And, you know. But it does sound like...
In conclusion, got to go to a rage room.
Yeah.
That'd be a blast.
All the shit where I was like, we got to go to this, we got to go to this, we never do.
But you do in that moment because you're thinking about it.
Have you done float tanks? That's another big one.
No, that's a John C. Lilly invention, which is the dolphin guy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about it since day one on here, though. Like, we got to fucking hit a float tank, dude. You know?
I need to.
Yeah,
problem is doing stuff, it's really hard. You know, if there's one thing I like better than doing something, it's doing nothing.
Well, the thing about that is it's super expensive because it's like all fucking chic and like, you know, trendy. It's like,
well, I think they've got to drain them and shit every time.
Yeah,
so the operating cost is probably, but not that like salt's all that expensive.
And you're in there for like an hour or like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, it's an hour, I think. Or I think it's like the total session's an hour, but you're in there like 50 minutes.
Yeah,
you know, you got to get in and get out.
So
or whatever.
Even still, it's expensive. Yeah. You know, but you could make your own. You know, I'd imagine. Just
so
like
did
very,
that Lilly
very.
Dude, did he invent it or did he just start using it?
No, he invented it.
Pretty sure. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, why is he back in the public zeitgeist? Like, was there some new info about him? I mean, there's the dolphin fucking
No,
stuff.
I think it was just maybe just when somebody starts thinking about something, it's out there. It kind of
pops back up.
Well, and honestly, like Rogan's done a bunch of episodes where he's talking about that guy.
I've never seen a
like,
Rogan John C. Lilly episode.
Like, yeah,
well, not like an entire episode about it, but he's always talking about the dolphin fucking and stuff, and it tends to be like, I noticed that a bunch of the movies now too. Like Rogan's talking about XYZ movie, and then all of a sudden it's on Amazon or Netflix 2 days later.
That's a true influencer, right?
That is crazy.
It's ridiculous, man.
What's that movie though? What's John Hurt plays him, and it's what the fuck is the name of that movie?
Altered States.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
That was my introduction to him. That I literally found that movie randomly, and
yeah, but the Dolphin House is a completely different story, man.
So that's him later, right?
Yeah,
later in his career, or whatever. All right, so what the fuck happened? I read through it a little bit, but like,
so I mean, just the basic rundown is he got a bunch of money from the government to study animal to human communication,
and he's trying to make them
talk. Yeah.
Which is so baller.
But he discovered some shit about dolphins that actually helped the dolphins, you know?
Right. I'm sure. Yeah.
So he got this huge, research grant. I think it was Hawaii or some island like that, but it's still in the United States area. And so they get these dolphins and they choose one. What was the name of the dolphin? It was Peter.
I remember.
Peter.
That's
and then
apt.
he has this woman who has no scientific experience or anything.
She's like an assistant or something.
Yeah, just like teacher or something like that. To be the one to teach Peter how to talk. So she'd keep notes, and he'd be out there in his suspension unit, just talking to alien gods on ketamine. For real. Like echo means something like earth communications, something. Look that up real
Lily's
quick.
the man.
Echo the Dolphin is based off that shit.
Okay.
And anyway, so things got weird.
Yeah.
So she was teaching him things, and she thought that he was making progress, like not realizing that it's like a parrot. The parrot isn't actually communicating with you; it's just mimicking you,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For a fish, or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
But she's thinking, she's teaching dolphins how to talk, and it was like she'd be say Margaret, and it couldn't say its M's with the mouth, so it found out how to use its blowhole.
Holy shit!
Put it halfway underwater. And Margaret!
Jesus Christ.
It's the scariest sounding thing.
That's out of control.
Shit.
You should play Margaret!
All this shit's on video?
Yes!
All right, keep going. I'll see if I can pull it up.
Yeah. And so, but Peter was like young,
Yeah.
horny, started making the moves. And she realized one day that if she relieved him sexually, it helped for a little while, and he'd
Lily's like, we're right there. We're right on the cusp. We're one hand job away from breaking this thing wide open.
He's just reading her notes, and he's rarely there,
Right.
Because he's in the fucking chamber, talking to alien gods on ketamine.
As
at this
one
point.
does.
Yeah, it was just LSD, and then it all became ketamine.
Yeah.
So
I got one video here that I don't know what. I can't find that exact clip, and it might play.
they'll probably play it.
Something else was affecting her work with Peter.
But yeah,
they have sexual urges.
Oh.
I'm sure Peter had plenty of thoughts along those lines.
Peter liked to be with me. He would rub himself on my knee or my foot or my hand or whatever, and I allowed that. I wasn't uncomfortable with that, as long as it wasn't too rough.
right.
Peter had caused some
Naturally.
minor injuries on her legs and stuff of pushing like an obsessed suitor.
In the beginning, when he would get rambunctious and have this need, I would put him on the elevator and say, "You go play with the girls for a day."
But as Peter's urges grew more frequent, the process of transporting him down to the two female dolphins to satisfy him proved disruptive.
Nice music.
Yeah, this is quite the
Margaret felt
choice
the
of
best way
music
of
for.
focusing his mind back on the lessons was to relieve his desires herself manually.
It was just easier to incorporate that and let it happen. It was very precious, it was very gentle. Peter was right there. He knew that I was right there. Again, it was sexual on his part. It was not sexual on mine. Sensuous, perhaps.
Yeah.
So she said. What was going on? Like
Loving
itch,
it.
just get rid
Loving
of it.
that
Scratch it
dolphin
and
Going
it's
home
done.
and double clicking the
Move on.
mouse for sure.
And that's really all it was.
I hope there's some footage of her
I was there
talking
to
to
get to
him.
know Peter. That was part of Peter.
It was great that she wasn't going to be damaged by that, but as a veterinarian, I wondered about.
I mean, I would contend psychologically that's probably gonna do a little something to her.
I mean,
that's fantastic.
So the project falls apart because they can't get the fucking dolphins to Peter to communicate, and he just wanted to. And we don't know how far she went with this dolphin. I think it went all the way. And then Lilly started giving him LSD. So this dolphin's yes. And Margaret's like, no, I don't think we should do that. And he's like, I'm a scientist.
We're definitely doing it.
Turn on some Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
This dolphin's tripping balls.
He's like, I'm already fucking this dolphin. God damn.
Yeah, but his personality changed when he started taking the LSD, and it would. I bet. It would like look right at him like it didn't do that before.
Whoa!
And it like so he's like
became
it's working.
Self-aware.
You know, we're like control, on this level.
Man. Yeah.
Holy shit!
And the project fell apart. They had to disband. And the dolphin, bro. They found this out too. The dolphin drowned itself out of heartbreak. And dolphins can kill themselves. Flipper killed himself.
Holy shit, man!
They can just go to the bottom of the fucking thing and just stop. Because they're so fucked, like
could you
mentally and
imagine
emotionally.
That thing ending its own life because of heartbreak? She must have given a hell of a hand job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was more. I think it was more, man. I think it was like really.
How much would you have loved to have been a fly on the wall when he's pitching that? Not for that, but just to get the funding. He's like, all right, I've got an idea. It's gonna sound a little out there at first, but stick with me.
We make dolphins
what we're gonna do,
by giving them LSD.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
Mm-hmm. Man, but yeah, John C. Lilly, genius guy, invented that chamber.
Yeah.
He found out, he was like doing all these experiments with dolphin brains and their nervous systems. And he's the one that found out initially that you can't sedate them because when you do, they'll just die because they have to be breathing
moving
consciously.
all the time or whatever?
Yeah.
Damn.
Not moving, but just like breathing.
Yeah.
It'll stop them from breathing.
Holy shit.
And they just die. So he killed a bunch of dolphins and stuff beforehand. And
my question is, how big is a dolphin's dick, though? What are we talking about here? I mean, it's a pretty big animal.
Speaking of lists, you're gonna end up on that might be one we don't Google there. Maybe DuckDuckGo.
Yeah,
that one.
have you seen a whale dick?
What? Yes. Which species?
There's that one Brendan Fraser nude scene. And,
I haven't seen that.
Had to be worked in somehow.
Let's go. I can't hear it with the no headphones.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Damn, John C. Lilly for the win. That's
how
incredible.
did you learn all this? Is there a documentary or something? You reading up on it, or?
So I had heard just.
I know you're a dolphin porn enthusiast.
Well, we don't need to talk about it. I had just heard from somebody, just like a friend of a friend more like about this, how the dude is related to Echo the Dolphin somehow. And I'm like, Echo the Dolphin? Like, what does that even mean? So I like looked into it and sure enough, Earth communication, something. He was talking to a federation. He thought this place was a base he was talking to, and a federation of aliens lived there, and they were basically controlling everybody. It was like a program, and he was like tapping into it and channeling. He was actually going to these places, and he was taking a lot of ketamine, bro.
Who? I'm lost now.
That's a guy I want to party
John
with
C. Lilly.
without question.
Okay.
Dude, yeah.
What's that?
That's a guy I want to party with for sure, dude.
Yeah,
not so much anymore,
now,
but back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
Probably
so
less
he
fun
thought
now,
he was
but-
communicating. John C. Lilly did. I thought you were
John
talking
C.
about
Lilly
somebody else.
did.
Gotcha. Okay. Holy shit. There's got to be a biography or something about this guy.
There's a
right?
couple documentaries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Damn.
And the Dolphin House is a documentary, and it's also a book, I think.
Okay.
But this house was just...
Because they like filled the house with water, right?
And
like,
it was gross at first because they didn't have like a filter to suck it, so it was poop in the water.
Yeah,
and her bed was like a foot off the water, and she'd wake up and everything would be soaked except this one little corner of her pillowcase that she kept dry. It's just like wild, man.
That I couldn't do.
I mean, she's fucking that dolphin for sure.
She's
right?
all in.
For sure.
No scientific experience. Just the way she talked to it. I want to hear that, but she's just like, Peter, We are only going to speak in English today. No Dolphinese.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't want you to think in English or Dolphinese, Peter.
She'd say Dolphinese.
Yes.
Throwing it back to a earlier episode, I remember talking about Sequest, the show.
Yeah.
Sequest.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
dude.
ever watch
Jonathan
Yeah, man, that
Brandis in
dude
the
died.
Boys.
Oh wait, are you talking
Yeah.
about which one are you talking about?
It's it's the guy
Jonathan
from
Brand. Was it Roy Scheider?
from
Yeah.
Jaws? It's
Yeah.
it's Star Trek Underwater. Remember we were
It was like an
talking about all that?
NBC show.
Yes.
Early
Yeah.
90s, maybe.
Oh,
like
definitely. I watched
Talking
that.
Dolphin was a character in the show.
I don't remember that.
Who is that blonde kid that like he was in Ladybugs and all those movies and he killed himself later? He was like was
Jonathan
in that
Brandis.
show. Huh?
That's Jonathan Brandis.
The kid? Okay, all right, yeah, all right, gotcha. Yeah, couldn't remember his name, but yeah, he was in that. You know who I'm talking about, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skinny dude.
Yeah.
Real heartthrob. Sequest dominated. It was
Sequest
a
was a good show. Yeah.
Gotta run some Sequest back. That's a reboot I'm on board with for sure.
I've tried reboots lately. Well, not reboots, but I've tried watching older movies that I really loved, and I thought they were my favorite movies. And I watched them. I'm just like, this fucking sucks.
Not
dude.
holding
Like
up.
what? What is it?
Like the Ernest movies.
Oh, that's a huge run, dude. Yes. Which one? The original or
I tried Ernest Goes to Jail.
Goes to Jail? Yeah.
The only one that really holds up is Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah, the one with the trolls in it, right? The Halloween one.
Because I think they probably spent, a couple $100 more on it or something.
What was that dude's actual name? Was it Varney?
Jim
He was-
Varney.
Jim Varney.
Yeah.
He was badass.
Yeah, he was super funny, good actor. Very gay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
What was he in besides Ernest? He was a good actor. Like,
Skits. He's a skits guy.
Yeah, he was like one of those dudes who was like a good actor that kind of fell into this like thing that became his thing and that he could never get away from.
Pee Wee
kind of
Herman-esque, did some Paul Rubin shit, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of, it's very similar in a way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim Varney.
different personalities, he played all those
So
characters.
did you run more than one Ernest movie?
Yeah. Because I thought it was just like, maybe they got like the earlier stuff, maybe it was just like they weren't primed yet.
No, the first one I think is the real one. Ernest Goes to Camp or whatever. That's kind of like that was the movie, and then from there it all became like.
But there's so many.
It was really
Ernest
the
goes-
artistic
joins the
apex
army.
of the,
they
Ernest
just
films,
didn't stop making them.
Yeah, man. Ugh. Yeah, but sort of like Nick Cage movies,
Yeah, he's got some great movies too.
Yeah,
though.
but some really bad ones too.
Yeah, for
Jim
sure.
Varney would be a pretty clutch Halloween outfit, dude.
An Ernest
Going as
outfit.
Ernest?
Yeah.
Wasn't there an Ernest Goes to Space? Was there an Ernest
I'm
Goes to
sure,
Space?
yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
I think he goes through NASA.
I might
or
be off
something.
base.
No, I'm
honestly.
pretty sure there is.
If not, there should have been.
Yeah, It's Ernest in the Hood.
That's what it's called?
No.
Oh.
There's like Leprechaun in the Hood.
Oh,
which
yeah,
we
yeah,
watched
yeah.
on- I was just saying they also did Ernest Goes to Compton. you
Well,
know?
really, Ernest Saves Christmas was really good too.
Yeah.
Ernest Saves, it was a family
That's
happy
the one with
joy.
the air brakes. Air brakes.
Mm-hmm. Who is that skinny dude and that fat dude that are like the sort of cameo sidekicks or whatever, like the comic relief?
I don't remember. When do you have to have additional comic relief in an Ernest movie?
It's like they showed up in
Ernest
every
was the
movie.
comic relief.
The guy had no teeth. He was like, and you couldn't understand what he was saying. And then there was
I
a
don't
fat
remember
guy.
that.
It's
This
like
is some deep cut.
Yeah.
What's going on here? I
Yeah.
got nothing on this.
So this is why I thought it was going to be better, because I remembered it as just
Yeah.
like so epic to talk about it in a
They were
podcast.
so popular when we were kids, though. I remember watching all this. The one I remember the most is definitely the Halloween one and the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, is it the same dudes from the first one that were like the camp chefs?
Yes.
The skinny guy and the fat guy?
Yeah, they play a different role in each movie, and it's just like,
That's hilarious. That I
Yeah.
never picked up on, but yeah, I remember those dudes in the first one.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Damn. Was there any others? Or was it all Ernest, dude?
Oh yeah, I mean, I
Other
tried watching
shitty movies.
Yeah, just like
Judge
some of the action movies, like they don't hold up.
No, yeah, like Schwarzenegger style shit. Like,
I could probably watch
Commando.
Schwarzenegger still. Like
absolutely.
but some of the Van Damme
Oh,
stuff.
the Van Dams are always the worst.
Yeah,
dude.
but I remember them as like better.
No,
Like
they weren't.
Lionheart and
Bloodsport might be the
Bloodsport's
greatest
huge.
film ever made. We're shutting. Oh, I'm all right. I'm catching these two
Yeah,
guys right
Time
now.
Cop.
This fucking guy.
Time Cop.
These guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exeronius, dude.
well, that's Ernest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the skinny guy with no teeth?
He's a fat
was
friendly
just
a
there.
second ago.
But
He's on the other side. Yeah.
yeah.
No, fucking Van Damme movies were always terrible, dude. Like, besides, like Bloodsport is pretty sweet, and fucking, I was a big fan. I
Hard
remember
Target
Hard
was a
Target I
choice
was
flick,
going
yeah.
off about, but most of them are pretty bad.
Van Damme dominates in an unreasonable level.
Like a lot of those
It's
action
glorious.
stars, they get a good run where they're kind of at their peak, and they got a
Yeah.
little bit more budget. Like Seagal movies are the same, you know. Like Jesus Christ, some of those movies are terrible.
It's all about Van Damme and Dennis Rodman and Double Team.
Yeah.
That
Seriously.
might be the finest.
You just
Van
opened
Damme
up
there is,
some
yeah.
kind of door.
Yeah,
Holy
drinking in a
shit.
little bit.
Yeah, we should do a Van Damme-a-thon.
I was
Without-
just saying how much I don't want to watch Van Damme movies. It's just like, oh.
You got to sit here all day and watch Van Damme.
Yeah.
They're so preposterously awesome. There's that one where he's doing. Oh no, that was a commercial, like a Mountain Dew commercial, where he was doing the split.
He does that in like
every movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Semi trucks that were driving
yeah.
down
He
does it
the
on
highway
talk
at the same
shows.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he goes on there.
That was his whole move, was doing the splits.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing that in Bloodsport.
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he really amped it up.
And he
with
just
the,
kinda hangs there?
Yeah, dude.
He like made a career out of
Drink
doing
it in
the
a little bit.
splits. You know? He's got to learn to do the splits.
Van
He's
Damme kicks
good,
ass,
dude.
man.
That's what I thought too.
I wonder what the fuck he's up to nowadays. You know, like what does Jean-Claude Van Damme do with his time now? I don't know.
He's got some kids. You know,
sure,
yeah. I mean, he's probably just
Still
signing
fucking
autographs.
fighting in illegal kumites around the world.
It's delivering vicious roundhouses, dude.
That's only for Steven Seagal, man. Steven Seagal is the only one who can be a real. You know,
Yeah, well, he's a police officer.
yeah.
and
I've seen the videos. It's fucked up. It's like some fucking up some Mexican dude with like 3 other cops. I'd be pissed, man. Just like
Dude,
Steven
you just get your ass
Seagal.
beat by Steven Seagal. God damn it.
Is this really happening? You know, am I being punked? Like, is this real life?
Yeah, and he's
What's
like
going on?
friends with Putin, and it's just a weird
it is
story.
wild, man. He is a wild character.
Steven Seagal bringing nations together.
I know.
The finest diplomats of our era. Dude.
What's the one? It's like him and DMX. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Is that Glimmerman or is that a different
No, that
one?
wasn't Glimmerman.
Glimmerman
no,
was-
no way out, man.
Yeah. that's-
No exit. Exit wounds. Exit wounds. Yes.
That one was actually pretty
Yeah.
chill, so I'm not gonna lie. That was a
Pour one
pretty
out
good
for
movie.
DMX,
I saw
yeah.
that in the theater.
Oh yeah. I don't remember if I saw that with you, but I definitely caught that in the theater. Possibly me, you, and Swanson would.
that
Steven makes
math
sense.
checks out. I have
Exit
no
wounds
idea.
rules, man. Goddamn.
Jingle All the Way. Tried watching that one again.
I've actually never
Yeah.
actually seen that movie.
It's-
as much
It
as
used to
we
be my
fucking
favorite
rip on
Christmas
it.
movie. I like Christmas a lot.
Yeah.
We need to do a Christmas episode watching Jingle
yeah.
All the Way.
Yeah,
It's gotta be
that's
done
true.
this year.
That's
That's top
true.
priority.
yeah.
Turbo Man.
Yeah.
Sinbad for the win.
I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of Sinbad, though. I do
So,
love-
is there like a Mandela effect with him?
yeah, it's that
The genie
the
thing,
genie
right?
movie, yeah.
Kazam or Shazam or whichever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I 100% remember watching.
Me too.
Dude.
It existed
Without
it fucking
question,
existed.
yep.
And then they made the other one, which also is the one that still exists.
But is there
was
an
two of
explanation?
them.
Have you looked at an explanation for it? Like,
That
the
one I
Mandela
can't
Effect
figure
is
out,
the
dude.
explanation, bro.
Yeah, the explanation is
Done
Sinbad
deal.
made that fucking
This
movie
is
in an
case
alternate
closed, yeah.
universe. That's the explanation.
well, I thought Bob Barker died. Like,
Yeah.
because I remember like the controversy, like, oh, he was like, you know, a womanizer, and like they just all of a sudden started talking shit about Bob Barker because he died, and then all of a sudden he dies again.
I kind of thought maybe he died already too. That one would be an easy one. They were so old that like
I think what it
you
is
know,
is I was confusing like it because it's always confusing it with something minor that you don't think of.
Yeah.
The Hugh Hefner. I think I was
right. Yeah, or it could be any of those guys was sort of like minor stars,
Right.
You know, like you say, like oh yeah, and then you just kind of associate all that shit together in your mind or something. Yeah. There's something like the Berenstein Bears one. That one to me is like, well, that's just obviously.
I think that actually did change the first edition. I read something about it where it was like different.
Oh,
So like, yeah. 'cause
what is
people-
it actually? Is it Berenstein or?
I don't know.
I think it's Bernstein, but it used to be
Or it's-
Berenstein.
With
or
an
No,
something.
it's
S-T-A-I-N
Bernstein or
versus
Berenstein,
yeah.
I think.
Something like
that.
that. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
But either way, that one to me is like, well, we all just remember because Berenstein's a way more common name, and
Yeah.
he just kind of like whatever. He never probably weren't saying it right in the first place and shit.
Well, it's like David. Like I remember David and the Gnomes, but it's David the Gnome. Like I just found this out the other day. I'm like David the Gnome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's David and the Gnomes.
right. But see, and that one's just like, well, yeah, but you were also 4 years old when you were watching that.
I was watching the reruns when I was like,
I was running it back a
also
couple of
last
weeks ago. It's reasonably fresh on the
That's
headset at this
Ernest,
point.
yeah, that one can be explained away pretty easily.
Real double dip.
Yeah. I used to watch that fucking. There was like some tugboat show. That was
Kind of Thomas the Tugboat,
Yeah,
or is that the
yeah.
train one? There's
No, but it was
Thomas
a
the Train
similar
too.
thing. It was like the train, but it was a tugboat fucking
yeah,
world.
sounds vaguely familiar.
Was it like annoyingly optimistic? Like
I'm sure it was, yeah.
okay.
It was on like PBS, and it was early in the, it was before school. So it was like super early in the morning, like 6 a.m. kind of shit or something like that.
not like MTV The Grind.
Oh, the grind
Was it VH1 or MTV? I think it was VH1.
It was MTV for sure.
But yeah, dude, waking up with like a fucking hard on, like a just fucking 14-year-old hard on, and you're seeing like you just wake up to that. Good lord! And you gotta go
Grind
to
was
school.
Incredible. 6 in the morning. The grind was incredible,
I know.
dude. Old school MTV back in the days.
Oh,
was
dude,
great shit.
I used to love Aeon Flux and The Tick.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Those crazy cartoon shows. Yeah.
They ran the Tick back a few years ago. Remember they brought that
There's
back
been
for
quite a bit of
hot
I think they
minute?
Tick.
tried. Like, didn't they make a movie too, or like a live
Yeah.
action thing?
Yeah.
Live action stuff.
With what's his face from Seinfeld? Fucking Putty from
Putty dude,
Seinfeld.
yeah. Which I think he might have voiced the Tick in the
cartoon
or
as well,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude's fucking gold. The Tick was gold.
the Max was
Eon
good,
Flux
too.
was fucking sweet too. That's the dude who did Rugrats.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. The reason why I know that is because he also does one of the Animatrix on the thing that we were obsessed with.
yeah,
Which you
okay.
can see the Eon Flux,
Yeah,
Matrix
indeed.
shit or whatever. And he was like doing Rugrats and, getting well paid to make that and whatever. And that was his main gig. So he wanted to do this. He talks about how the Rugrats are these short, squat things. So he wanted to do something in Eon Flux where everything was super elongated. And that's why, that's if you look at that style.
Oh,
and
wow,
that was like
yeah.
his kind of like after work passion project of like making super fucked up thing instead of making this like kids.
They're both pretty
cartoon,
fucked up, man.
You know?
Like if you read the conspiracy theories
About
with the whole-
Rugrats?
Yeah,
I don't know about that, dude. What is it?
like they each have they each represent some kind of trauma.
Oh, it's their parents or something. It's like they're all their parents or something.
I don't know exactly,
okay.
but yeah, it goes deep into like some psychological shit. Like the artist is hiding in there. That's
Wild.
It could be. I mean, that guy's a very legit artist.
Yeah,
Japanese fella.
I didn't know he did other things.
Yeah, Eon Flux.
Rugrats is real multi-layered dive down the rabbit hole to get
like,
down
well,
to.
run that show back.
I feel like a lot of those guys do that shit though. There was that whole dude at Disney that was
Oh,
putting
and
in the
putting the
fucked up
sex shit
stuff
in.
into the
Yeah.
early Disney movies.
They had to
and
recall
stuff.
the Little Mermaid first edition
Yeah.
artwork because of the dick.
I
Yeah,
have
the
the
dicks.
VHS of that. It was like a bootleg copy, so I don't have the cover with the thing on there. But yeah,
It's worth a lot of money if it's sealed.
Full-blown erection, massive erection.
It's
yeah.
the preacher guy
they're
or
getting
the
married.
ship captain or something
Goes,
or whatever.
dearly
Yeah,
beloved.
yeah, there's a huge boner.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
out of
hilarious.
control.
It's incredible.
But there was also dicks on the cover. In
Yeah,
the
there's like a
castle
penis in
or
the
something.
castle.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yep. The Spire or whatever it is
Yeah.
back there.
That's hilarious. That fucking guy, like that's a good move, dude. That's
I think
so
he denies
fun.
it though, didn't he? He denied like actually like.
I would
meaning
imagine
to.
you kind of got to deny that, dude, like.
It was what happened is like somebody complained. Somebody went and rented a movie, and saw the cover and complained about it to the to the person who was renting the movie. He called the company and said, "There's a dick on here," and they immediately recalled it, and made a new cover.
Damn, that's crazy.
So if you ever see the dick Little Mermaid one with like it's sealed, dude, that's life changing.
I'm getting on eBay tonight and trying to score one of these exotic pretzels.
Watch out
It's gotta
for
be
eBay.
done. I gotta have it.
They're trying to sell you some fucking bullshit.
The one with the dick on the cover, though, even that one, like, I remember being like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's kind of like this weird underwater thing, and like, yeah, it kind of sort of looks like a dick.
Well, in
But the
Lion
erection-
King, when Simba hits the dust,
Yeah, the
sex
sex
pack.
thing.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one
It
either.
says sex, dude.
I don't know, man.
You got to do it like we had the
went
old
frame by
school
frame.
frame by frame on VA. It's clear as day, dude.
Yeah,
You would
it's
never
sex.
see it in real
I guess
time.
I'd
It's
have to
not
s-
apparent, but
Well, that's the thing, though. is it's
1,000% confirmed, dude. 1,000% confirmed.
And one frame, you know, it's like the Fight Club one frame. Like you can't actually
we
see
literally-
one frame though.
Well, we had
you watch
the
it.
spindle
But
thing
when he's
on the
making it,
remote
he can see
control.
it.
Yeah, he can, but like, what good does that do if no one can possibly?
I think it's like
see
a
it?
subliminal.
It's so hilarious
that,
knowing
but
that
it's-
it's there, dude. It's
No,
the
not on
ultimate
purpose or anything,
troll.
but
Yeah, just for the sheer troll factor.
Yeah,
right?
no,
But-
that makes it even funnier, dude. Nobody else knows it's there. Every time you hear somebody watching this movie or talking about it, it's like, yeah,
that is some Fight Club shit, though.
yeah,
it's
it really
hilarious.
is.
Dude. It's for the love of the game. You get it down to it, you know?
The Lion King game was pretty alright. I remember playing that game.
On what?
That was a great
I think it
game.
was Sega.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I never had that. You guys with your fucking Segas.
There was also an Echo the Dolphin game for Sega that I'm pretty sure.
That was like one of the first ones besides Altered Beast.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not very good. Not very good.
No.
Dude, do you know the Sega game? It's like we're trying to figure out what the fuck it is, but you can either play as like a man, a dwarf, or an elf or something.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like golden
Altered
Axe.
Beast. Oh, you're thinking of
Golden Axe.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Ah, man. Cannot confirm what the fuck the name of that goddamn game is. Gotta get Rick Beam on here.
I got
He
nothing
fucking
on
knows
this
what it is.
game, man.
That was a brutal game. I forgot about that game.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know. Apparently, I was the only one who ever played it. I never had a Sega, though. But
Unless this is one of those Mandela Effect things, right? now.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking look this shit up.
Golden Axe.
Yeah, don't sleep on Sega, dude. Sega had some banger games
Hell yeah,
back
they
in the
did.
day. Comic Zone was a dominant game. The Earthworm Jim version for Sega was a far
Oh, yeah,
superior
dude.
game to Super Nintendo.
Looking good. I don't know if this is it. This looks like way later.
Let's Google up. Here, I'm gonna erase you.
Yeah.
Golden Axe?
There it is. So get in. Okay, you can play as like the woman. Strong woman.
Nice.
Nobody can hear me on my microphone.
I feel like I fucked with this game a little bit
That's
back
it,
in the
dude.
day, but I don't remember it that
Yeah,
much.
you can play with like, as like the barbarian or like the dwarf dude or the like the Shiro chick there.
Hell
Yeah, it was chill. So anyway,
Sega
that game was
kicked
chill.
ass, dude.
I know like the 3 buttons. I don't know. The controller was whack.
Controller was a little bonk, dude.
I don't know. I'm a Nintendo man.
Questionable quality on the controllers. I feel like they're always busting all the time.
Yeah.
Remember Sega CD when that came out?
Yeah.
There's like
yeah.
a sewer
remember that
shark.
one.
It was the first time like there was actual like footage in a game. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like, and
Dude,
it was
I had a
laggy and it sucked. But
I had a Sega 32X. Do you remember the Sega 32X?
when it upgraded,
It was
Yeah.
a plug-in to the top
Oh,
of the
I didn't- I never
machine
had that.
upgraded it to a 32-bit.
Wow.
I had
like
the Sega
PS1
Genie,
was at
the
time.
Genie, Game Genie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Game
had
Genie
that
was
as
the
well. Game
shit,
Genie was
dude.
choice.
I had Game Genies for the fucking like for the NES and the SNES.
color screen. It was the first one to have a color screen when Game Boy was still black and white.
Did they have it
Yeah.
for Sega? I feel like they did.
Yes, like
The Game
Gear.
Genie?
Yeah.
Game Gear.
No, I'm talking about Game Genies are those things where you
Yeah,
fucking,
yeah. My bad.
You can like put in cheat codes basically or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
like, and you can get like all fucking unlimited lives.
I had
or,
one
like,
of those for
whatever.
Nintendo. I didn't remember.
Yeah.
it for
Yeah,
Sega.
probably not then. But yeah.
Yeah, those things were the shit. That's how we got so good at Contra was because we could put in
Speak
like,
for yourself. I got good off blood, sweat, and tears putting in the man hours, son.
we put it in, we'd have that on fucking like unlimited lives or it was basically that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, we could just fucking run it, you know.
Well, the most difficult thing I had to do growing up was play the Waterworld in the Ninja Turtles game.
Oh, dude, the Waterworld's a
so
killer.
intense.
That's
It's
just
a
been coming
killer.
up in memes lately. I've been saying.
Maybe that's why I'm.
Yeah,
But
it's so
It's
preposterously hard.
excruciating.
Preposterously hard.
I remember
ran through that not
dynamite
that long
blowing up
ago.
and stuff,
Yeah,
like,
there's
it
those
just-
Yeah.
bombs.
Yeah.
and you fucking hit the seaweed.
There were the shock things.
Yeah,
The
if you hit the
paralyzing in
electric
place.
seaweed,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like one hit. Like you can't like. I think maybe, I don't know, but
that's stressful.
Very little margin for error.
Yeah, there's the one where you have to get right up in. There's only like an exact thing that you can go through to get up into.
How do you remember this?
Because I played it not that long ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that Ninja Turtles game. I had a bunch of Nintendo shit up until not that long ago, and that was in there.
Right on.
Also, Heavy Barrel. Or do you still have Heavy Barrel?
No, I never had Heavy Barrel.
I've never even heard of that.
It was this terrible game we found at the
Heavy Barrel.
And the whole point was you'd like. It was sort of a run and gun kind of from above, and like the whole point was
Contra. It was poor man's Contra.
Each part of this gun that you would be kind of assembling through the level, that was the heavy barrel. And when you got the final piece, it was like 6 pieces or whatever, it would go heavy barrel.
Yeah.
And we were just dying.
What?
Heavy barrel.
Playing the game
like a
wasn't
computer,
even fun.
Automated sort of.
Yeah, it was like the sound effect, like the screen would be like heavy barrel, like you got the thing. Now you got the like huge fucking gun that could take out everything.
Top priority is scoring a Heavy Barrel T-shirt. That's gotta be.
You gotta find that. We need to get the heavy barrel clip on the soundboard.
Yeah. Top priority.
I want to get some Monster League on. Remember those?
No.
Fucking Monster League football. You're like a monster, and you choose your, and then you go out on the field, and they set up. The other team's setting up booby trap. Like, it's a fucked up field.
Right.
Yeah.
That actually sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, and there's hockey, Monster League hockey, Monster League football.
Did you ever play Arch Rivals, the basketball game?
Great game.
Probably.
It was a great game where it was literally
full
like
contact basketball.
It was like full contact basketball. So it wasn't it wasn't real NBA teams or whatever, but you'd be like 2 teams and you could literally like punch each other, and like people would like throw like popcorn from the fucking stands that you trip on and shit.
Nice.
And like the whole thing was just trying to fuck each other up. It was more like a street ball thing.
Road Rash. Dude. You ever play Road Rash back in the day for Sega? Oh man, with the chains whipping people off. Goddamn. Old school games, man.
Old school games with shit. Skate or Die.
Hell yeah.
Ski or Die. Ski or Die was actually maybe first.
Paperboy.
Yeah, that's just a classic. That shit's still fun.
I had a handheld Paperboy game. Remember they would make the individual games before Game Boy was around?
Yeah.
God, it was the shit.
You had a bunch of baseball ones of those. And shit.
Yeah. RBI baseball, bunch of that stuff.
Poolside Pocket. I remember that. It was like in the beginning.
Yeah.
Side pocket.
I don't remember that.
Side pocket. Hell yeah.
You lined up. You stretch the geometrical string to where you want to hit the ball, and it
holy shit
shows you.
It was great.
It was good.
Dude, I had to get glasses one time, and my right eye is really bad, and my left eye is like perfect. I was fucking like bumping into stuff. Everything looked like, the magic eye where it's like all 3D and weird, and I was looking at walls and stuff. It was a fucking wild adjustment period. It was a bitch trying to get used to that.
So what happened to you last night?
Possibly.
What's really going on, man? What's really going on?
Dude, time to get those eyes checked again.
Other possible contenders, like honestly, some kind of straight up nicotine overdose. You guys really going hard on those Nick packs. It might have done it.
Oh, you were,
Nick packs.
It's all the
Nick
above,
packs,
dude. That's what I'm saying. It's all that shit combined.
It was a real menagerie of deadly influences.
Do you have anxiety, like panic attacks or anxiety or anything like that?
No.
When you feel your heart skip a beat, do you like focus in on it and then it like just stops? But it doesn't really stop, but you think it stops, and then you like. That's how like panic attacks are sort of like all of a sudden your body starts fucking up.
Yeah.
And you think you're dying.
No, I've not. I had like kind of had one mini panic attack one time that I worked myself up into because I was way in my own head. But outside of that, the guy was like, "Did you ever get? Do you ever have a PCRE or some shit?" I'm like, "No, it sounds choice if you got some." But it's like, "Yeah, your heart's skipping a beat or something." So that probably something I should get looked into at some point in the near future here.
Yeah. I was born with a heart murmur, which they say like down the road could cause some issues. Yeah. So I gotta always watch out for that.
I was thinking too, were you standing, you probably don't remember, but if you were standing with your knees
straight, I was thinking that. I tried to not do that, which I learned that from Drumline.
Yeah, that is a Drumline thing. Yeah, you can't stand there with your knees aligned.
Pretty good about not doing that.
And everything fell in order, and like all the things caused it.
Yep.
That's probably what happened.
There was a whole lot going on there. A whole lot going on.
But he's still alive.
alive, ticking, better than ever. I'm like a new man, gentlemen.
Where would you want to
born
die?
Again? What's that?
Where do you want to die? What would you be your you don't want to die at a Mars Volta
show. It's literally got to be a top 3. What a baller way that is to go out.
To go out at a Volta show.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, but I thought you said that you didn't want to do that.
No, I was saying it happened during the opening band playing. Gotcha. So if it would, that would have been a bummer. But during the Volta show,
yeah, that's the way to go.
That's
especially
awesome.
The last song, dude. You know, like all right, this is not ever getting.
Center kiss that one last high note.
It's basically like, this is the peak of life right here.
Send me on my way.
Yeah,
Fall down, shit my pants in tragic fashion. Glorious.
You won't have to clean yourself up.
It would kind of be the way to go out. I don't think there's a better way of doing that. Or there's the fucking Game of Thrones line, which is the greatest answer to that question ever. How do you want to die? In my own bed with a belly full of wine. Yeah.
A Tyrion.
Yeah. That's a top contender as well. What's your answer to that?
I don't know. I guess I don't really think about death that often. My son thinks about it enough for the both of us.
I think going out in some kind of like tsunami or something might be kind of dominant. Some giant wave coming at you that you fucking see.
Be pretty epic.
But I don't want to feel like a lot of fear before I die.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, for sure.
I think getting shot in the head on the street, just like randomly just shot.
That's just the way to go.
Yeah. Not a bad way. Not a bad way. Some kind of Armageddon situation with a choice, like combat action coming in, because at least that'd be like the most incredible fucking thing you could see. You know, it'd be pretty quick and painless, but
real quick.
The crippling fear leading up to that would be less than ideal.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't think they'd tell us, but they couldn't keep it a secret these days. But
more.
I think Omoa means like visitor or something like that.
Yeah,
Hawaiian.
I think you might be right. Asteroid would be pretty good. I don't know, like without the fucking crazy panic and riots and everything beforehand, but just like kind of like everybody just kind of going at once.
See, the riots is what I want to. I'd be down with that.
Into. Yeah, I want to break some shit.
But the whole like burning and starving and eating people, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Zombie apocalypse is not going to be that's not going to be a good way.
I feel like I could hold my own in the post-apocalyptic world. I think I'd be doing the work out there. No way, dude. I'm talking about foraging for various nuts and berries, dude.
Yeah, you're going to die.
Hunting all sorts of small game, dude.
Oh, man.
I'd dominate in the post-apocalyptic world, dude.
You just got to find something you're good at and make yourself useful.
Mad Maxing my way around town, dude.
Yeah.
I used to have
running shit.
One of my jokes or whatever was for a long time was like, if I'm going to kill myself, the way I'm going to do it is by laying down on the track of a roller coaster.
It's a good move.
I want to make the biggest mess possible.
Right. All the kids with their hands up.
Take out a bunch of people with me.
Snap the picture.
Just derailing 10 carts on the shivering timbers, dude. This catastrophic death in your wake, dude.
Ugh, that would be rough. Yeah.
Speaking of rough.
It has been a rough week, in all seriousness. The fucking rough week this week, dude.
Yeah.
Like, stupid busy. You saw I fucking sold the old man's Camaro.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. So
pour one out. Very sad about that.
Yeah, it was bittersweet. So it's been, work has been fucking crazy. So I just fucking have not been like literally following up on anything that's going on in the world.
Yeah, there's an awful lot to try and keep up on with the Volta shows and everything going on.
Happening.
Yeah.
I know a lot of stuff going on in politics and stuff. I just can't keep up, man.
Libya, all those thousands of people. There's like over 10,000 people dead now.
Oh, there was
thousands
like a
missing.
Or something, was it? Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it. But that was a big one.
Wild, dude.
So all those souls gone, just perished. It's wild to think.
Pour
about.
one out.
I mean, I guess.
What else is going on?
Let's do a little something new to get the people up to speed here, gentlemen.
The Dangerville podcast presents News of the World.
Cannot hear the song. Since you can't hear the song clips, I'm just gonna be fucking dashing on them over here.
I don't even know what you're doing over there.
You know, gentlemen, this week I actually wasn't gonna do any news, but I simply had too many bangers, too much gold material. I was just gonna look up actual news stories, but it seemed almost like a trend, like almost like we were cutting the audience short, you know, not by doing something here. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Balls Prizes recognize achievements in study of black holes. Yeah.
Okay.
So the International Balls and Prize Foundation, this is a hilarious name in and of itself, awards 4 monetary prizes for outstanding achievements in the fields of humanities, natural sciences, culture, and peace, with one of the 4 awards going to Heino Felke for his role in producing high-resolution images of what surrounds black holes. Yeah.
Wow.
He was then unceremoniously stripped of the award the next day after a typo was discovered, and it was determined that the exhaustive research he conducted on black hole images was done exclusively on the ebony category of Pornhub.
Ooh.
Come on, that's a banger. Let's go. My own sounder. Fucking rat bastards. I'm going to be having to hang this new segment up here. Apparently, I'm the only one that thinks he's hilarious. One-man operation. All right.
That was great.
I can smell that joke though.
I might have to get the headphones on here and see what's going on. All right, moving right along. Yeah, these are all universally terrible as always. A Norwegian man needed a hobby. His new metal detector found a showy 1,500-year-old gold necklace.
Damn.
Yeah, so at first the Norwegian man thought his metal detector reacted to a chocolate money buried in the soil, like one of those gold-wrapped chocolate coins.
Okay.
But it turned out to be 9 pendants, 3 rings, and 10 gold pearls someone else might have worn as showy jewelry 1,500 years ago. Yeah.
Damn.
Unfortunately, the man's metal detector exploded mere moments later when he foolishly brought it within 500 yards of Infinite Design's latest album. Shout out to Nick, and catch the new metal podcast, The Metal Maniacs, which is great.
Shout out, The Metal Maniacs. All right, yeah.
Got an alternate submission here. Alternate submission, as if that one wasn't funny enough, gentlemen. Got an alternate one here. Ironically, at the same time, his wife discovered a pearl necklace given to her by her neighbor while her husband was out playing with a metal detector.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right, we got an asterisk by this one. I don't know if this one's going to go or not. We're going to give it a whirl. So once nearing extinction, Brazil's golden monkeys have rebounded from yellow fever. Did you see this one by chance?
Wow.
No.
So the population of Brazil's golden monkeys was once down to around 200 animals in the wild, but has since rebounded to more than 4,800 after bouncing back from a severe epidemic of yellow fever.
Okay.
Yeah. The monkeys noted that while yellow fever was a big thing in their community for a while, they're really more into black chicks these days.
I don't like monkeys. I love black people. I don't like monkeys though.
Did you happen to watch that Chimp Empire?
I watched some of it. I
documentary?
watched a chimp tear a monkey in half and just like eat it.
Yeah. It was wildly violent, dude. Yeah. It was super interesting. Yeah. Pretty badass.
Yep. That was us.
All right, this one's been on the back burner for a while, gentlemen, but I had to be brought out into the daylight to share the glory of this joke.
I'm glad I'm here for the reveal.
Enormous Lebanon bologna sandwich unveiled at community fair.
Yes.
Yeah. An enormous Lebanon bologna sandwich measuring 100 feet long was unveiled at a central Pennsylvania fair and is being billed as one of the world's largest.
Okay.
I love the one of the world's largest. Like there are multiple enormous Lebanon bologna
What
sandwiches.
is Lebanon bologna?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Presumably delicious bologna of some sort.
All right.
The sandwich is being heralded as the largest amount of Lebanese bologna since their 2014 legislation to protect the country's women from domestic violence. Because they still hit women.
Oh, man.
Subject is obviously not a laughing matter, so I wanted to do a joke that was, not funny. So, keep that one there. Alternate and terrible submission here. This one had to be done. The sandwich is being heralded as the largest amount of Lebanese bologna since Tony Shalhoub was denied his 4th Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series for his brilliant work on Monk. Tony
Shalhoub.
Yeah, I was furiously Googling Lebanese people. They were both terrible. I decided it had to be done there. All right. Moving right along. I think this is the last one here, thankfully. Alaskan fishers fear another bleak season as crab populations dwindle in warming waters.
Damn.
So fishers in Alaska are bracing for another potentially bad season as researchers scramble to understand the crab's collapse. Yeah. So in looking, this is going one direction only. In looking for tips on how to catch more crabs, fishermen have turned to expert Kim Kardashian, who commented, "That's easy. Just tell them to take off the rubber." And that, ladies and gentlemen,
Dangerville Podcast presents News of the World.
You're welcome, world. You're welcome.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know which one I hated more.
Like, what is Lebanese? Is it from Lebanon? I don't get it. I've never heard of bologna from...
You know, I did a pretty minimal amount of research into Lebanese bologna. Rest assured, I will come fully prepared to speak to it in great depth during next week's podcast. So stay tuned for that. It'll be really
got to bring some.
A deep dive into Lebanese bologna.
Yeah, we'll get some sent in, overnighted.
Amazon, check it out.
Get part of that goddamn sandwich. You know, they're still trying to get rid of it. It's like, what, doesn't Homer eat a fucking enormous sub for like 2 weeks and he's getting all sick or whatever?
Did he have a trip from that? Or I know there was the trip episode from Chile, but I'm trying to remember if he had like some trip off that fucked up sandwich.
I don't know.
I just remember him like still eating on that sandwich. Yes.
Are they still doing that? Is that
it just got renewed for its 35th season. It was just in the news like yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
They got to put that thing down, dude. That's been
when was the last time you
for many
watched
years.
it? When is, I haven't watched it in
a couple of years ago. I tried to throw one on, and it was just not.
So, are they keeping up with cultural? Like,
I think so. I don't know. Yeah,
I assume, but
nobody
quality
knows.
of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, who's actually watching it? And like, I don't know.
Two things about The Simpsons. Like, one, it started to get really preachy. Which right when they did that movie is kind of when the show started to take a turn, because they just started going down this rabbit hole of like global warming, and it got super political about the environment and that kind of stuff, as did Futurama for that matter.
Yeah.
And then the writing just became too obvious. Like, they were pointing out every joke. Like the Glorious Simpsons, I said this probably 30 times on here by now. But the best part about the show was just they'd be walking past some building and some hilarious shit would be like, nondescriptly written on the window or whatever, and they wouldn't call it out. And then they're just pointing everything out, making it super obvious.
That's terrible.
Not good.
Yeah, The Simpsons was actually a very subtle show.
Yeah.
For all its craziness, there's a lot of like subtlety in the humor.
Right,
just a well-placed Marge just going, like that was like funnier than anything, like.
Which is always my thing. Like, I like that understated, just simple, and then it just got too over the top.
So the prediction thing, is that just like odds?
That's what I think. There's so much of this that like, of course there's going to be things that you can be like, oh, they predicted it.
Right. Clock's right. Right. What was it? What's the fucking thing?
I think you just
a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like Trump as president and stuff. Like, I mean, that was pretty easy.
When was that?
But with the escalator, can that be explained?
But see, that's the thing. And then how many times is Donald Trump, who lives in New York, is on an escalator? A lot. So it's kind of like.
Right.
I don't even remember what that was.
But I think, and they might have said that was a misconception that they filmed it after, but I don't know. But there's always an explanation for it. I think. They're not thinking.
I think it's just odds.
Yeah.
I think if you watch enough Simpsons, you'll be like, well, that actually did happen, because there's just so goddamn much of it. 35 seasons of it. Like, there's gonna be things that are like,
Man, they should have just stopped that and like kept on with Married with Children.
I've never seen an episode of Married with Children.
Really?
Nope.
How is that even possible?
Same way I've never seen Armageddon.
That's not the same thing.
I don't know which is more egregious in its own way on that one.
No, I mean, I've seen like parts. Like, I know what it is, obviously, and stuff. I've seen bits and pieces and shit, but I like never watched it. Like, sat down and watched an episode. It would be on. I'd see like a little bit of it here and there and shit.
It was like the gritty show, know.
That was what kicked off Fox. Basically, was that and Simpsons.
Yeah. Fox was like the original groundbreaking anything goes type network back in the day, if you remember, because that show was super controversial for that time. People,
actually, a buddy of mine was just talking about this. When you were that age, there was two camps of when you were a kid, you could watch The Simpsons or you couldn't.
Right.
And it was like a thing where, like, if you couldn't watch The Simpsons, you were not part of the cool.
Well, your parents either believed Dungeons and Dragons was like witchcraft and Satanism or not.
Indeed.
looking at it now, how tame it is, you know, compared to shit nowadays and stuff. Yeah.
Real tame.
I still think, I still think the first like 10, 12, 14, whatever seasons of The Simpsons, like, this is the funniest shit ever.
You can make an argument it's the
original
best thing
run.
made, yeah.
But and it's like, you kind of wish it would have just stopped there, you know, like if it was like a glorious 12 seasons or something.
I
like,
can't believe that show is still around.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe our people, obviously it's still getting ratings if they're keeping it around.
There must be just like a bunch of adults that religiously watch it or buy the merch or do something.
My theory is the other direction. My theory is like young kids grew up hearing how great Simpsons was, watched it, and then like kind of didn't realize that it's now terrible comparatively. You know, like,
yeah, indeed. I feel like they started when Family Guy hit. I feel like they started trying to make The Simpsons be Family Guy too. Yeah, I've always said that.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, they kind of, and I'm
indeed.
like, yeah, no, you know, like they could be different things.
Yeah,
you know? And it's that writer turnover, and it just kind of like that's the style of the day, and like, you know, and that's kind of what you're talking about. Is then it starts becoming preachy because that also was the style of the day.
That's the biggest thing. Like whatever writers they have on it now are just not the same.
Yeah.
It's, you know, they had fucking Conan and people, you know? Back in the day. Yeah. You know, like you're gonna be hard pressed to do much better than that. But yeah, let the thing die, dude. Just let it go. It's been time for many years at this point.
Yeah, the movie was terrible. I thought I saw it in the theater. I only saw it the one time.
That was the disappointing thing, because I remember like the last episode or season or two of Simpsons right before that, it was kind of starting to fall off, if we're being honest. And it's like, all right, well, maybe they're putting their energy into this movie, and then there was so much hype around that, and I remember being so psyched to go watch that movie.
I think.
And then it just stunk.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's not really worth watching.
It's literally not worth a watch.
Is it like is Beavis and Butthead better than?
1,000%.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
Beavis and Butthead's glorious.
Which, speaking of things that need to be watched, I still haven't caught.
I know there's all kinds of new Beavis and Butthead catching any of that.
I caught some of the new episodes of it, but not the actual movie.
Yeah, I just saw like one, and it was fucking funny as hell.
Yeah, it seems like that's something they'd have to get right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about that is it's kind of like the opposite, is that Mike Judge is not going to do it unless he's got something to do. You know, like he can do whatever he wants. And he's just like, oh, I got some seriously funny fucking Beavis and Butthead material. The one I saw was like Beavis like starts a literal dumpster fire. And like, did you see that one?
Yeah.
And the fire is like talking to him because, you know, he's obsessed with fire and whatever. And like, he's actually like speaking to the demon in the fire, and it's getting him to do this shit. Nice. But he's so dumb, he doesn't understand what the demon actually wants. And it was hilarious. The other part, it might have been that same episode or something, but it was like they go to an escape room. Beavis and Bud in the escape room, and they turn the wrong way, and they end up in the bathroom, and they think the bathroom is the escape room. And it's fucking hilarious. That's super funny. Good. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But then there's ones like there's new shit where they're like old men too, which I've seen some clips of, and it was equally hilarious.
See, that's the shit I haven't.
There were some older
yet.
episodes where they were old men or something like that too.
Yeah, they were. He's drawn them, and they did their dads in the movie, but it was basically just them when they were older. But yeah, it's almost like if they continued to age from that time, you know, they'd be this age now. And like the one I was watching was it was Beavis at the DMV, you know. it was fucking hilarious, you know. This shit was gold.
It'd make me feel old watching that.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Indeed, that's pretty much what it is.
Mike Judge is next level funny.
That
guy is a fucking genius.
I think he literally is like a genius. Like, it's fucking everything he's ever done is fucking
Silicon Valley is one of my favorite shows ever, dude. Goddamn, Mike Judge is fucking awesome.
I didn't finish it. I need to, and I've never seen Idiocracy either.
Oh, that's a classic.
It's good. Yeah, it's really good.
I don't know how. Like, it's just like I never caught it, and like I definitely need to.
It's such a brilliant concept. Like the movie itself, it's funny. It's not like the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's very funny, but the concept, it's so spot on. He just,
I think it's hilarious. How the movie's hilarious, and the result of the movie with the Crocs.
Yeah.
The director is like, I'll just put some silly ass shoes in there and just make them look fucking stupid as fuck, you know. And they caught on, and fucking now Croc is like huge.
Damn, I didn't know that was part of it.
Yeah,
I gotta watch that fucking movie. I was just talking about that actually, about Cocaine Bear, though, when the premise is funnier than the actual movie. Like, the premise of Cocaine Bear is hilarious. I don't need to actually see the movie.
No.
it's not that good a movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like the premise of this bear doing a bunch of coke and killing people.
Well, the funny part is
hilarious.
when the kid accidentally does the coke. That's the funny part.
So I haven't seen the movie. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I got a T-shirt. I'm making jokes on the show about it. Never seen the movie. Don't care to. Don't need to.
It seems like a classic situation of like the trailer's probably about all you need on that. I also haven't seen it, but.
Have you read the story, the actual cocaine bear?
I did, but I don't remember it a lot. It was he
didn't
died in
kill
15 minutes. No.
Yeah.
It was,
They just found him.
Yeah. Just the fact that there's a coked up cocaine bear.
Did the bear really go crazy? Like, would cocaine do that to you if you just ate it? Is that even
ate it.
real?
I think he had a heart attack. He just fucking ate a bunch, had a heart attack, and died.
Bunch of plastic and shit in there and stuff too. I think it ate from the packaging and
Because
stuff.
of fentanyl.
Indeed. It got taken out by the fentanyl.
Hope not. Hopefully it's just pure Colombian China.
Indeed.
Like Colombian yam, baby.
I don't like cocaine. I just like the smell of it.
Man, I just saw this thing of some redneck legit riding a bear. Like a video clip.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was fucking crazy.
That's wild. Dude.
Yeah.
Like in America? Because Russians do that shit all the time.
I don't know. And no, he was hammered clearly too. He was fighting. He was
I think I did see
or something.
Yeah, I did. I think I did see that.
Yeah.
And
That's hilarious.
There's weird videos out there. There's one guy following this bear and he's like smacking it.
Yeah, at some like restaurant or something. Was that?
Oh
what
no,
it was?
that was a
Did you see that
campground or
one?
something like that.
Yeah,
and he followed the bear out.
He was like chewing the bear basically.
and then the bear got one swipe in.
And
You know, honestly, my money's on the Russian guy. That's a hard people over there. That's a hard ass population. Speaking of bears, you got to look at this for 2 seconds real quick. The clip itself isn't that great. So, okay, I stumbled across this story, and it's this heartwarming story about how this polar bear is petting a dog, basically, out in Alaska. So cue this up real quick and listen to the music, which is kind of the only part you really need to hear.
All right, you ready?
So it's all heartwarming. They got this little Disney piano number or whatever the hell's going on in the background, right? So they come out. They put this story out. Then, like, the next day, they post an update to the story, right? And it says, update, we regret to inform our readers a tragic turn of events following the video of a polar bear petting a dog. Subsequent reports have been revealed, and the polar bear later attacked and ate one of the sled dogs from the same location.
Oh, man.
This incident serves as a somber reminder for the unpredictable nature of wild animals, even in moments that seem benign or endearing. I was laughing my fucking ass off, dude. It's so perfect. That music just... He viciously slaughtered the entire litter moments later.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with a polar bear.
Dude, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, fuck that. Or most like big things in nature, just you don't want to fuck with.
I'm good on nature in general. I think, you know, I know you like to go camping and shit. I'm like,
I do
good.
it because it's like
good.
I feel like if I can't, then my life is kind of degraded in some way. Like if I can't make the hike or if I can't do the thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Trying to stay active.
I have that attitude too, but it's more cheeseburger related. It's more like, if I can't pound the bomb at Burdick's anymore, like what have I done in my life?
Who you got in a fight? Van Damme v Polar Bear.
Oh, Van Damme wins for sure because he does the splits.
I got to imagine.
Yeah, he does
he's
the
just out
nut
of reach of the polar bear. Every time the polar bear swipes, he's taking the.
If it's a male polar bear, he wins because he can get the nut shot in.
Yeah.
If it's a female polar bear,
that's a good point.
It's over.
Good point.
It's over for Van Damme.
The polar bear would have to be standing, right? That's the whole thing.
No, see, that's the thing is he can get low enough with the splits that he can just ding the bell. Dude.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Ding the
speed.
He gets the speed bag on that
Three
shit,
Ninja
dude.
style. Tum and the boys for that nut shot. Dude. Three Ninjas rules. Speaking of movies, I got to bring back from way back in the day. Love me some Three Ninjas.
What about Sidekick with?
Yes, dude. Was that also with Jonathan Brandis of Sequence?
Okay,
It came full circle.
There you go.
Brandis had a nice little run back
that's
in the
what
day.
I'm saying.
Talking
He was in tons of
Ladybugs,
shit,
talking Sequence. Hell yeah, dude.
It was a bunch of fucking movies. Yeah,
he was like the original JTT.
He really was.
Like the original teen heartthrob.
Yep. Well, there's been many teen
before
heartthrobs
that.
but yeah, he was very similar. Yeah, and he fucking like killed himself later on. Dude.
Oh, that's how he died?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, very tragically. Could not get the dolphin to talk to him anymore.
Making some lesser version of Sequest after the fact, so my life has lost all meaning.
Look that fucker up real quick, dude. See how he went out.
So he didn't have a very good run. It sounds like. Sounds like that run sucked.
Well, I think it was one of those child actor things, and
right?
Like fucking,
they never turn out well. I'm surprised Macaulay Culkin turned out better than he was heading.
He got out so early though. He basically just did like those.
Right, he did. He took the money and ran.
All right, I'm out.
He did a lot of movies though. He did that Good Son movie with Elijah Wood back in the day. You remember the Good Son?
Yeah, that was
a
right.
dark and movie. Fucking choice movie. Dude.
Party Monster.
Party Monster was a great movie with an adult Culkin. All right, any guesses on how Brandis did the deed before we reveal this here?
I'm gonna say stroke and choke, dude. I think it probably wasn't actually suicide. He was just doing the old fucking rub and tug with the fucking
the old Chris Cornell.
Yeah, he pulled the fucking the David Carradine.
Yeah,
went out with the fucking stroke and choke.
I'm gonna say
In Excess.
Pills. Took a bunch of pills.
You are half right, my friend.
Whoa,
old
which
school
half?
hanging. Old school hanging.
Woo! That half.
That's a tough way to go.
Yeah,
dude.
that's
a real tough way to go.
God damn. Pouring out for Jonathan Brandis.
Did his neck break or did he suffocate? That's the thing. Like when you
I
drop,
gotta imagine suffocation because like you've got to be pretty high up to get the neck break, right? Like if you're just doing the old school kick
It's got to be like right
method.
too. Yeah, that's why you had
that
the
rope
noose right.
Yeah. That was the whole thing they were saying about the Epstein hanging. They had that dude from that autopsy show, the host of that show, come in. He's like an actual doctor. And he's like,
or whatever.
It was the wrong vertebrae or whatever. Yeah, there's a whole method
sort of
to it.
bone.
somebody just grabbed him and pulled him.
Oh, fuck, dude.
That shit.
Oof.
It's. I hate to say romantic, but it is a romantic way to die.
Yeah, it's the right word.
Yeah.
You can do it. Probably second to jumping off a cliff or something. That's really the fucking most romantic
That's
way to go.
the way to go out, I would imagine.
Just smoke some DMT.
Has anybody done? Nobody's died from smoking DMT though.
No, but you do kind of. I mean, it's like jumping off a cliff. Yeah.
So you get to die and come back.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
If you had to choose the way to go, if you were sentenced to death, what method are you taking there?
Of like legit execution.
Yes.
Firing squad might be a move.
I think that's the go.
No, I think lethal injection, dude. They just put you to sleep.
The firing squad, there's something to
It's a
that.
baller move.
Something to that.
I know you got to ride old Sparky, dude. Might be the fucking move, dude. That seems like kind of the
That looks
brutalest.
brutal,
That's
dude.
kind of the brutalest,
Especially when they
dude.
botch it.
Yeah,
A lot of margin for error. in that one,
Don't
dude.
try it. Don't wet the sponge.
Fuck that. Yeah, I think lethal injection's probably the most humane way.
I'd prefer if it was the future and there was some kind of like alien or robot war and they put me on the front lines of something like that.
Yeah,
Just like
Starship
put the
Trooper
prisoners there.
style. The Starship
Yeah.
Trooper death. Yeah.
Like in Futurama, they got the suicide booths. You remember that? Yeah, it's a big gag.
Oh, yeah,
Early
yeah,
Futurama was the suicide booths. You just go in and put your quarter in and vaporize yourself.
Like in Canada.
Is that what they do?
But the
You can
suicide
sign
laws.
up for it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can
And in Portland.
just
In
do
Oregon.
the assisted
Yeah.
suicide thing, which is
Really?
wild.
Really?
Question for you, throwing it back real quick. Have you ever done 5-MeO DMT or
No.
just NN-DMT?
No, I know the difference too, just because people have explained it to me. But I've never been in that like vast white light of oneness or nothingness. I hear it's really intense though.
It's supposed to be super wild, yeah. Mike Tyson was always talking about the Toad
Mike
baby. He's all about
Tyson,
that
man,
5-MeO.
he went full circle.
Bro.
He's just sitting. He just when he's interviewing, he's like eating mushrooms, like out of a bag. He's just like,
Oh, Jesus.
he's just eating mushrooms all the fucking time.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah, but it's Mike Tyson, you
Right.
know? He may need a lot,
Damn.
psychologically and physically, but
Shit. I'm fucked up, boys. We might have to call this a night.
cool.
I'm fading a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Right. Probably going to be about that time.
It's going to be about that time. All right, fools. Thanks for coming on with me. Keep me posted on what's going on in the old UAP world.
Yeah, well, I'll try. I'm
counting on you. You're my inside source, bro.
No, man. They just need to get here.
Yeah, dude. All right, Tom DeLong's on next week, guys. So we'll catch y'all then.
Peace. I guess this is growing up.